There we go, John. I'm fine because I have a big presence. Hello, everyone. Here are your presents.
So we had a little hurricane in Ireland, and things got a little sketchy there for a moment, but I think we all came out of it stronger, and more importantly, we all came together and birthed a new Overwatch character.
Do we get to talk about it straight away?
That's where we're opening the podcast. A new Overwatch character, Moira. She is an evil Irish wizard, which is pretty cool.
She's a geneticist, but that's close to a wizard.
How many wizards do you guys know? Because I know like a lot.
I know more druids than wizards.
I do actually know druids.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a witch and a wizard? Is it a male-female thing?
Niamh, stop trying to bait a controversial argument out of us, okay?
What's a warlock?
A warlock is like a witch. It's a male witch.
But okay, so it's Hogwarts School of Witches and Witchcraft and Wizardry, so I presume that was gendered, so witches are female.
They never had like a witchcraft class.
Well,
yeah.
It's probably to do with like St. Lordington School for gentlemen and ladies. You know, it's British, so they have to be like, and here's the one gender segregation and here's the other.
Could the Blair Witch teach at Hogwarts?
No, she's Irish.
I think is she? The Blair Witch?
The Blair Witch
Yeah. She came off a famine boat, did some weird shit in America.
Yeah, I guess so.
Rose up the ranks, has a movie about her.
Okay. Isn't it that like warlocks are like summoning spirits, right?
From the dead? Because that's a necromancer.
No, that's a necromancer. Warlocks are reaching into magical realms and summoning powers from there to help them.
I mean, yeah, okay,
I've got it here if you want.
I think wizards are manipulating the natural world around them.
And witches are just women.
That's just the natural powers that every woman has. There's just so few of them will admit to.
It says here a warlock is a male witch.
I don't buy this gendered bullshit.
A wizard is a wizard.
Can you be a wizard and a woman?
Niamh, we're progressive here, but come on.
Female wizard.
Okay, no.
Oh, here we go. We're on Reddit, everyone.
Okay, no, that's
guys, what's the equivalent of a female wizard?
It seems like there's multiple terms for male magic users and only one for woman magic users.
Do you know what?
Well, then there's sorcerers and sorcerers.
No.
Wait,
Sorceress.
We are going to use the gender neutral mage from now on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But like, where do we draw the line? Like, what about like? Okay, Dalsum from Street Fighter, is he
mage.
He's not a mage.
Mage.
He's not.
Everything's a mage.
No, I don't buy that.
But then M. Bison is a wizard.
I mean, M. Bison's kind of a wizard.
He's got a cape. He's got spheres of magic.
Is it
wizard.
the cape that makes the wizard?
It's the flying.
Witches can fly, but they need a broom. So is it unaided flying with a cape equals
Okay,
wizard?
no, hang on.
It's also the flamboyancy.
What can a witch do?
I guess she uses a cauldron, so she can make potions.
Yeah, they do potions.
More like alchemy.
So they don't have any actual powers.
They do, because they have transformation. They can turn into cats.
And they've got like, and they've got weird like magic to do with the fertility of humanity, but also of nature.
Yeah.
So they can fuck with crops, and they can like put a plague on a village that like nobody can have children, or all the children get taken away.
So witches are like disease poison wizards.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Right.
They like to influence and change things in a very indirect way sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's a witch.
So why didn't Hogwarts have witch teachers?
They had Professor
Sexism.
Professor McGonagall.
Yeah. Politics and bullshit.
Professor McGonagall was a witch.
But she's a wizard.
She's a witch.
I don't know.
She had a pointy
See,
hat.
this is the question.
She could turn into a cat. She was definitely a witch. She had a pointy hat, turned into a cat. She was all kind of like...
I feel like she's like... I feel like she is a wizard who likes to think of herself as a witch, and so she learns all the spells to help her do that. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, you know that guy who debunks all the psychics?
James Randi.
Yeah, but he's actually a psychic.
He's not a psychic.
No, Brian. He's a psychic.
He's a mentalist.
No, he's a psychic. He has supernatural powers.
He's a mentalist.
So, but the thing is, he's like the strongest psychic in the entire fucking world, okay? So then the other psychics come to him and they're like, look, I actually have legit powers. I'm going to show you right now. And he's like, okay, go for it. And then he suppresses them with his immensely powerful psychic waves and makes them look like assholes on television. And then just because, like, he could be like winning wars, he could be curing diseases, but instead he's using his supernatural abilities to make other psychics look like assholes. Which, in fairness, yeah, that's cool.
If you can,
yeah, I'd probably do that too.
And
we should just get all the mentalists in the world to like war. That's just Overwatch.
Just a bunch of dudes in nice 3-piece suits thinking at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everyone, that's been our breakdown of the new Overwatch character Moira.
She was announced like literally 30 minutes ago, so I guess we're a bit buzzed.
Niamh came in so excited.
Yeah.
She just comes in and she was like, there's a new Overwatch character, she's Irish and she looks like Hisoka. And I will totally take an Irish Hisoka witch.
She has mechanical arms that seem to extend beyond her wrists.
I don't think they're mechanical. I just think they don't know how to do bodies, so they're really long.
It looks like she's got like extra implants, as if like it's an extending
I
tripod.
thought it kind of looked like that as well.
Maybe. Like, she kind of has like hand implants in the same way that like Sombra kind of does.
Yeah.
She looks like a Guado from Final Fantasy X. They're the ones with really massive Maester Seymour.
The only part of the trailer that had me like, was when like her first line is like, you're bedeviled. And I was like, befucking deviled? What? Like, I have never heard, like, that sounds like an Irish thing. That sounds like a thing American people think Irish people say.
I'd love if she said, come here to me now, you little feckin' bollocks, yeah. That's
a voice line, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fucking brilliant.
I'll be dug out of you, you fuck.
Yeah, I will, yeah. Just anything.
When she kills another player character, it's just like, that's for having notions.
Holy God, the fucking state of you.
And what, she's like a debuffer healer?
She is, she's support, so she is healing and debuffs. I don't really know how the debuff works right now, but from that trailer. But she works for Talon, so she's evil. I don't know, she looks cool.
Yeah, she looks cool.
There's like no Irish video game characters.
There is one guy in Punch-Out, and he's fucking perfect. His name is Aaron Ryan, and he's a dirty boxer.
Oh,
and he like cheats, and he tries to trick you, and he's a scamp. And when he knocks you down, he's like, "Arr, come on, arr!" Like he's so Irish, he's nearly a pirate, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
And like he'll dance around and do a jig, and he'll be like, "You lie down with dogs." And I love him. He's fucking great.
The only other Irish characters I know is Anna and Nina Williams.
Oh yeah. The sexiest video game characters of all time.
And the most Irish.
Yep, definitely.
Did they get their own video game?
Nina Williams got it.
Death by Degrees. Yeah. No.
Man, I would have put money on that you owned a copy of that somewhere.
I really wanted to play it, but I heard it was really buggy, so I never bothered with it.
I think it's one of those games I'm totally going to play that at some... I will own a copy of that eventually. You know, there's those games where you're just like, me and that game are on a collision course, and it might be 20 years from now.
It feels right.
But like, in 20 years, I'm going to be like, I'm going to shout at my kids, tell them to shut up, because I'm trying to play Death by Degrees. Directional combat, everyone.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's...
I guess somebody has to own that in 2040.
That's how I come to own a lot of my games. I'm like, someone has to own this. Just found out today there's a Tenchu Wrath of Heaven sequel that I'd never heard of. Someone's got to own that.
That's what you spend your money on.
It really is.
You know how people like buy coats and shit, but you're just buying like weird, obscure PS2 games that aren't even like good.
Every part of that sentence was 100% true.
And you're just buying them out of just like, we have to preserve these things.
I don't know what it is. I get such a weird nostalgic comfort from PlayStation 2 games.
I have kept all my PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
I really like them as well. There's some I really regret trading in that were worth loads of money.
Anything I've ever traded in, I regret it. Always. Even games I don't like.
I traded in regrets for the PlayStation 1 and I'm pissed.
Imagine playing that now though.
Yeah.
Imagine we did like a video on the Rugrats the PlayStation 1 game.
Guys, do you want us to do a Let's Play of some licensed PS1 game? Let us know.
Particularly any members of the Rugrats fandom. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. And there's got to be more than one Rugrats game, right?
There's two. There's a party puzzle game on the N64 where they're dressed like safari explorers.
Like, what if one of them's fucking awesome? Like, what if it's a, like, Shrek battle situation?
Oh, that's
What? Is that a good game?
Yeah, so I think it's Shrek Swamp or Get Shrek Swamp Battle or some shit like that. But it's a Power Stone-like 3D brawler, but it's got a niche fighting game community and they're trying to push it for Evo.
Like, there's a tier list.
Oh my god. Yeah, that seems right.
Shrek's really, really good in that game.
This intro's gone on long enough. Guys, welcome to episode 62
You got it.
of the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast. I am sitting here with two of the greatest sorcerers.
Mages.
Oh god, we're gonna have to edit that out because that's not a politically correct term I used.
No, you're racist.
No, that's really offensive.
Okay, I'm as ever, guys, I'm really sorry.
He's not woke.
To my left, the Master of Bones. Skeletons are her friend and the living are her enemy. It's the Chancellor. As I was getting through that word, I thought it was going to come out more magical, but now you're just like in a position of political power, which is its own form of magic. It's Niamh.
Hey everyone.
And to my right, we have the man from the meat dimension. The wizard of beef. It's Brian.
Hey, everyone. Who are you?
And with you always, I'm your host, John.
He's Super Eye Patch Wolf, everyone. You might know him from YouTube.
That might be the case, alright.
Yeah, did you guys watch that Paranoia Agent video?
That's enough of that.
Scared the shit out of me.
Niamh, let's talk Stranger Things Season 2.
I could talk about it too.
Yeah, we all can talk about it.
Brian, you know how the podcast works. Niamh talks for 5 minutes uninterrupted. You talk for 5 minutes uninterrupted. Then we move on to the next subject.
Jesus.
We never converse.
This is not
just statements.
This is not a conversation-based podcast.
We talk with stalls up. Go on, go.
I am 6 episodes in. I didn't get to watch 7.
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna feel about episode 7.
I know. I heard it's really divisive. I'm kind of like, I feel like this whole season is divisive.
Yeah. It's really weird. I've watched all of it, and I'm not the biggest Stranger Things fan, but it's decent television, something to watch. It's cool. Mm-hmm. I was looking forward to it when I heard it was coming back, and I'm looking forward to season 3 next year, I guess.
They just push it so much. Like, there was a countdown for a week beforehand, like all over Netflix, and they have the after show as well. And there's like, you know, they're really like, Stranger Things is an important cultural event that we all should care about, and that kind of put me off it a little.
And it's not like Stranger Things totally is not that.
No, it's just
is this just middle ground that everyone can get something out of. And I'm not a big fan of, like, I thought season 1 of Stranger Things was fine, like whatever. Yeah, like it references a lot of shit, which is fun. But like in terms of like being something really, really amazing,
it's a very good kids show.
Yeah.
I feel if I was like a kid watching that, I'd be like, this is something special.
Oh man, I think if I was a kid, I'd fucking love Stranger Things. I wish it was a little more out there, you know?
Like, I watched The Mist recently as well, which I'll talk about in a bit. But
the feature
like,
film Mist.
Yeah, the film.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just The Mist, again, really. It is like something coming from another dimension that's bigger and more powerful. But with this season, it started off really strong for me. I really liked the first 2 episodes.
Looks gorgeous.
Yeah, they have
Fucking
so much
hell.
money now.
And like the cinematography and like the grading and the color, like, oh my god, it's beautiful.
There just seemed to be a lot of more nicer composed shots and a lot more like wide shots and more open spaces for it, and I really appreciated that. But as it's been going on, I think they're doing their own characters a real disservice.
Yeah.
I think some of them are just kind of crossed over into meme territory. Like, there's a new female character called Max, and she's 13, so she's part of the like core little group, and she's kind of becoming friends with them. And 11 just hates her.
Yep.
Just knocks her off her skateboard and hurts her because she's hanging out with Mike, who 11 likes. So there's this weird romantic jealousy against a girl she's never met. And that just made me really dislike 11, and it felt really... I don't see why 11 would be jealous. Like,
There's a bit later on where, like, 11 just doesn't like her.
yeah.
Which
all.
one's Mike?
Mike is
Is the boy with the black hair that had the thing, who kind of was 11's closest friend in the first season.
Okay.
Mike would have been like the main boy in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it seems like in season 2 they've done like a thing where he's more in a supporting role. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really have much of an arc this season. He's just helping others out, which is kind of interesting that they're kind of switching protagonists, or they'll kind of draw attention towards different characters.
But then who would you consider the protagonist of this season?
Yeah, that's it.
So I've only watched like snippets of it. I watched the last episode with my girlfriend because she was watching it, but yeah, I don't know.
I think Will,
Yeah, actually, Will.
in my mind, is coming out as the protagonist.
Because you know how Will in season 1 was
Gone.
someone that he's not in some of the episodes. Like he might be there as a vision or his voice is heard, but you don't physically see him in the room acting until like the first and last episode of season 1.
What's the name of the kid with the curly hair?
Dustin.
From what I saw, he seemed a lot more prominent in it.
He did, but he's spending a lot of time on his own, and I think they made Dustin really unlikable.
No, he spends time on his own, but then he teams up with someone else, and it's very fun.
Cool. So far, I like Dustin finds a little creature from the Upside Down that he calls Dar, and he decides to keep Dar despite the Upside Down nearly killing Will and everyone else kind of thing. And I just felt that was really out of character for Dustin to do.
His reason for doing it is really stupid
I think
as well.
Yeah.
like that actor is good.
Oh yeah,
I think
he's
like
a great little actor.
he's a very endearing child to look at.
Yeah,
and I think they really wanted to push him for this season, and that was the way they came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's working with weak material. He's doing a great job with it, though.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're all good actors. I think.
Yeah,
like,
they're
all the
fantastic.
kids.
I really love the bit. I think it's in the first or second episode where they're all dressed up as the Ghostbusters and they're arguing about who's who. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah, that's cute.
I love all that stuff. There's a great bit later on where one of the characters kind of has to babysit them.
I presume it's Steve.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah, I like Steve.
I do love Maxine. I love the character design for her older brother.
Oh yeah,
I love him. Now I've only seen him in select scenes. He seems like my kind of guy.
Okay.
Dude, he's the biggest scumbag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, he's perfect.
But like, he's an '80s scumbag. You know when you're watching a movie.
He looks like one of the Lost Boys. Like he's so perfect.
You know when you're
Mank.
watching like a like high school film from the '80s and they walk by the bullies.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite part of any '80s high school movie.
Yeah, he looks fantastic, and it's so
Like,
it's so good
I
how
feel
they're using him because he's
I feel like
barely
if
in
me
it.
and Brian knew him, we could be like his cronies.
Yeah, we could be
Oh
like,
my God.
we could be like, yeah,
You're
like
both so weak.
he's there cracking his knuckles, and we're behind going, get him!
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to be our best boy. And like, I think it's in the second last episode of the season. There's a great bit where like he meets an older woman, and he just controls the situation so well.
They were both so attractive. It was cool.
Yeah, I love his earring.
It's interesting that you like him because I was reading about the character and they said they really wanted to capture a Stephen King style bully character where it's nearly like, despite all the horrors that are going on, like these crazy mystical things, that there's a horror that is a physical thing that's worse.
He does kind of remind me of the Kiefer Sutherland character that's in Stand By Me.
It's funny though
It's that
because
kind
like
of bully.
there
He's
is
like
a
the
bu-
bully from It.
There
as
is a
well.
bunch of Stephen King stories where like the bully is such a bully that like even in the face of supernatural horror, like even in the face of his own death, he'll be like to the main character, "I'm gonna kick your ass, you stupid fucking nerd." It's like he could be in the hotel in The Shining, it could be coming after him. It's like anything awful could be happening to him, and he's like, "Gonna flush your head down this toilet, man."
And the great thing about him is he's so menacing that I feel like he could literally kill anyone in the entire show.
Yeah.
Like, he sees Maxine hanging out with Lucas and he just takes an instant dislike, and I was like, oh no, he's also a racist bully. Yeah. But like, you feel like he could actually kill someone. He's really scary.
So
he's got the feeling like one of those like just teenagers with nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
That bit is really weird because they're hinting at it and they never like completely go there.
That pissed me off
dialogue wise, but I think it's because it's a kid show and in some aspects, and they won't say certain things.
Like, I get it, but if you're gonna do that shit, go for it. Like,
yeah,
like
then you're not saying anything.
Like, I get, like, if you don't know, like, you know, drop the N-word or whatever, that's totally fine. But I feel like you can commit to it in ways other than that. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to make it about racism, make it about racism.
Yeah, he clearly doesn't like he just doesn't like Lucas, because there's a bit later on where like he calls him up by name and pins him. And it's really weird because up until that point he's only seen him from a distance, so he generally he really actually has a personal beef with Lucas. I love Lucas.
Yeah, I think Lucas really shines in this season.
Yeah,
that's great because I got no impression of him from the first season.
No, he just fights. Yeah, he just fights with Will. That's it.
You finished the season, Brian?
Yeah.
There's like I don't want to say too much. There's like a scene later on after everything's kind of gone down and it's kind of just wrapping everything up, and I really liked that scene. I thought that was a cute scene.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, Lucas is a cool guy.
Yeah, Lucas is like my favorite kid this season. Lucas and Will and Max are I really like those three.
I don't like Will at all.
What? Why? He's like a little Lego person made into a human.
What? Like, sometimes you say things and it's just like
his little bowl haircut.
Yeah,
but
I
feel like this happens to you sometimes. A character will trigger a certain aesthetic for you, and you'll just be like, I like them, despite anything else going on.
But like, he's literally being like inhabited by this other being from another world, and I think the actor acts as well, and I think Will is super sympathetic throughout the whole thing and really endearing.
I just think he's a weenie.
Yeah,
I think he's like a Millhouse.
See, Niamh, we're like, me and Brian, we're more like
cronies to a bully.
Yeah, we're more like like third tier bullies.
Yeah, you know? I wouldn't be I'd probably see that kid and I'd be nice to him one-on-one, but then when I found out there's other people around, I'd be like, ew, get away from me, nerd.
Yeah, totally.
Get away from me, Poindexter.
Like, I'd borrow his Super Nintendo and never give it back.
Oh my god, you're the worst. In this situation...
Niamh, how is this news to you?
Yeah.
I guess I'm Steve.
Yeah. What the fuck? Dude? Steve was so weird. I don't... Steve is so weird because, like, he's not directly involved with some of these things sometimes, but he just has to go with it. And he's getting, like, filled in later on. And he's
a nice guy.
I really, really liked him in the party in the second episode with his sunglasses.
Yeah.
From what I saw of Stranger Things Season 2, I liked it more than I thought I would. Because I liked Season 1 fine. I just thought it was grand, you know, but then there was stuff I liked better. I like all the Eldritch Horror stuff. I liked the big tentacle monster. There's a scene later on where you nearly kind of see something, and I thought it was really spooky and really cool. Maybe it's a bit early to talk about it, but I liked what I saw. I'm not going to go back and watch it, but I
felt with this season it's very clear that they want to spin this out into more stuff. Like, I haven't even reached 7, but that seems to, like, episode 7, but that seems to be the point of episode 7.
7 is the one where it's like, here's all these new characters you can cosplay.
Are these new characters from the very first episode? Yeah, okay, cool.
And
I kind of figured it was.
Yeah, they're in Pittsburgh. Like, it's not in Indiana for that episode.
I bet the amount of fan fiction that episode's going to generate.
Oh yeah, no, like that I found that episode very pandery. It didn't fit the rest of the season, I felt.
I really like new character Bob. He's Joyce's boyfriend, the normal guy who's just so normal.
Yeah, I like him.
Sean Astin's character. Yeah, he's great. I liked him as a vampire.
Hopper's really cool as well.
Hopper's so fucking hot.
What? Really?
Oh man.
Who's Hopper?
He's the cop. He's like the big sheriff.
The big butch hunk. Oh my god. I love
he does exude a certain sexual charisma.
Oh, I'd say it's fucking thick. Oh, he's
oh my god.
Class.
His pants are really tight, like, all the time.
Oh yeah.
There's a reason for that, Niamh.
Do you know what movie he's going to be in?
I know, he's Hellboy.
Yeah, he's
I've been thinking
Hellboy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's such a good alternative to Ron Perlman.
I think Ron Perlman's great as Hellboy.
Yeah, but like, oh man.
When he's trying to squeeze through the hole when he gets stuck at one point, I was just like, no, you're just too giant a man. And I was just like, he's going to make such a good Hellboy.
I really like him
So
next to Winona Ryder because she's like 5 foot something. She's
Yeah.
5'4", 5'5", and he's just like patting her on the head. He's so fucking tall.
Some of the scenes between him and I think 11, really good.
Yeah, he's so good at playing
Yeah.
a dad.
Really, really good.
I think he's my favorite in the show.
Yeah. I like him and Joyce's dynamic as well. I like how she's so small, hunched over with like 7 cigarettes, and then he's just really tall and like...
Yeah.
It's like they've got good character designs,
Yeah,
everyone.
the faces she makes are so fucking funny. And you know how like last season they had the kind of set piece with the Christmas tree lights and the alphabet, and then this year's set piece is the trails of paper labyrinth all around the exact same house. Like that house every season is gonna get like some sort of like trashing to it creatively, where they need to use that house as like a living
map.
or or code or computer or something that helps solve the puzzle.
Like, I know we've just spoken about it really highly and really animatedly for ages, but I'm still like, I'm a bit cold on this season, really.
Compared to season 1 or just in general?
I think I'm warmer.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I like aspects of this season better. Like, I think it looks better. I like some of the character stuff better. The stuff that's getting me down is the kind of... There's so much weird relationship stuff that doesn't go anywhere.
And I remember like one of the most disappointing moments of the first season is when I think what's the main kid's name in the first season?
Mike,
when him and 11 they kissed.
Yeah, they kissed at the
and
end.
it was just like, what? Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck?
Hormones.
They're 12.
Eh.
But like
What were you guys doing when you were 12?
Playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But Brian, were like regressive man children.
I don't think I've spoken
But
to a
even
girl yet.
ignoring the 12-year-olds, like there's like 3 love triangles happening, and it's like a series where there's literally another dimension, and it feels like the human tension all comes from relationship stuff. So then the girls are all relegated to kind of relationship fodder as well, and that stuff is boring in a series that is otherwise really, really interesting.
I just feel like I've seen that so many times. Like, yeah, I totally agree. Totally.
I think they should like not pair off some of the characters so that way the fan community can do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, bro.
That is how you do it.
Never ever make it happen.
Just make them ride on a motorbike together once, and
That's
all you need.
Yeah.
What else we got?
So, I have seen enough of this season's anime to give some choice impressions.
Here we go.
Big popular anime this season, The Ancient Magus Bride. You guys seen it?
No.
Fucking hate that show. Moving swiftly along.
Okay.
What is it about?
Oh, I don't know. Fucking anime. Fucking bullshit anime. And it's stupid fucking...
That's all I need.
Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna remember what you just said.
Yeah. But I'm sure people are enjoying it. Just...
Look, just do your why you should watch and move on.
Yep, sure. I've been watching, I think it's pronounced Inuyashiki. Brian, this is one...
It's Inuyasha, John.
No, it's not.
God damn it,
it's not.
every time.
Because I Google it and I get that fucker. I don't want that fucker. I'm talking about the guy... Okay, the guy who made Gantz. It's his newer manga and it's the anime adaptation. And it's called Inuyasha.
I don't know.
It's fucking brilliant.
I'm having a blast with this show.
Yeah, I love it.
I think if you like, Gantz got a lot of shit. Like as I know, like me and you, Brian, we fucking love Gantz. People kind of hate Gantz.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's the perfect thing.
I think I could understand it in a way.
It caters to a 16-year-old boy.
It does, but
it's perfect.
I really, really have been enjoying this show. I think one of the strong points of Gantz is the author of Gantz he is capable of writing cruelty in a way that's so real and so unique. I get the feeling that guy had a really shit time in secondary school. Like, I think he went through just 6 years of fucking hell, and that's all he's been writing about since. And what's cool about Inuyashiki, it's about these 2 guys, and they were hit by a meteor, and they both get turned into robots. I don't know how that works, but... And like when I say robots, like Niamh, their heads can open up and there's like a spinning little orb in the middle. Like they're not even kind of human anymore.
Okay.
And one of them is the nicest, sweetest old man in the entire world. And he just runs around trying to help people, but he doesn't know how to like use his powers properly at all. It's like to make himself fly, he has to sing himself the Astro Boy theme. And then there's a bit where he's like trying to fight these guys, and he's fighting them in like the weakest, stupidest old man way possible. Except when he actually does land one of his crappy old man punches on them, they just get knocked out completely because he's so strong. Like there's literally a bit where like there's like an angry teenager with his hand against his forehead, and the old man's making his big windmill swings and he can't hit him, but then he swings him, then he does hit him and shatters every bone in the guy's arm.
Oh my god.
And
the other guy, who's a very, very special boy.
He's a very special boy. He is a serial killer, and he's
a 16-year-old sociopath.
He's absolutely awful. He's just one of the most cruel, disgusting characters I've ever seen. Like what he does is he'll go into a residential area and he'll spin around in a circle and he'll just point at a house and then he'll walk into that house and just kill everyone inside. And the second episode has a scene of that, and it is one of the most violent, brutal things I've ever seen. It's horrible. If you're in any way sensitive to that kind of stuff, do not go near this fucking show.
No, this is for people who are familiar with the author's previous work and have a threshold.
Is the old man trying to stop?
Yes, and that's where the kind of dynamic comes from. You have basically the nicest, purest man in the world versus like just not even evil, just a black hole of emotion where there's just nothing.
Just a
there.
psychopath.
Yeah, complete psychopath.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to some people about this in work this morning, and we thought it was interesting that the roles are kind of switched in that the hero is an old man and that he's taking on a young child who's like the villain. Yeah. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah,
it's a boy.
Totally.
I think it's commentary on millennials, really.
Could be.
Stop stealing all my material for the video, Niamh.
He wants his avocado.
A+ Shiba Inu in it as well.
Yeah.
A very, very good dog.
And it's animated by Mappa, whose last anime was Yuri on Ice, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, they've done a bunch of stuff. They're all over the place.
Oh, they're a big part. I've actually seen pictures of the studio. They're massive.
And I'm really enjoying it. Really just fucking weird and different. It doesn't look amazing, but it's perfectly functional.
What do you think the likelihood of the dog getting killed is?
It'll probably be a major blow in the final arc.
There was a dog that made it all the way through Gantz.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe he just likes dogs.
I'm pretty sure there was a bunch of them that died, though.
A lot of people didn't make it to the end.
I think that's what's so hard to watch about this, though, because Gantz is always a battle setting. Mm-hmm. Like, the guys get put in their uniforms and they go, here, go fight a bunch of aliens, and then the aliens massacre half of them, like, in the first chapter, and the rest of it's just, like, this slow, desperate back and forth of them trying to survive. In this, it's just, like, a super-powered cyborg walking into a residential area and just destroying people's lives.
Oh, I think with this, with the creator, I think all bets are off for character safety.
Yeah.
I'd say that old man might die.
Oh, that would be sad. I wouldn't like that.
But that's why you do it.
Yeah, that's why you read stories by this guy.
It's to make you sad. What else we got?
So the other one is the Zodiac War. This has a bunch of titles.
Junin, the Zodiac War.
I think I made that up. I don't think that's the actual.
John, the Zodiac War.
John, the Zodiac War. And so this one is it's a real typical Game of Death style anime where it's like you have 12 characters and they're all brought to one city where they gotta fucking fight each other. Yeah. And if you're not into this kind of anime, it's going to do absolutely nothing for you. Like it's.
The best part of this already is when you use the Zodiac, everyone's favorite character is from the month they were born.
I want Gemini. I want like a guy, but he's got a split personality.
Gemini is two guys.
Is he like Siamese twins? Is he like conjoined twins? Is that the word you're saying now?
And like one of them is already dead when it starts.
Oh no!
It's bullshit.
He seemed like kind of an asshole.
He should have been in it then. I want an asshole.
It's okay. So it's that anime. We've all seen anime like that. You know what to expect. But with a lot of other anime, I feel like there's a lot of pretense and bullshit. In this, it just starts straight away, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, the characters are much more developed than you think they have any right to be. Like, the first episode is just a backstory about this girl, and she's just a mercenary, and it shows all her training and her relationship with her family, and then it's like, and now I've entered the Zodiac War, and like, it's really dumb, and all the characters have really fucking stupid outfits. Like, you guys should look up the Zodiac War rabbit. It's this dude with white hair, black eyes, red pupils, wearing nothing but like a little bow tie, suspenders, and a Speedo, and a massive rabbit tail.
Yeah.
And he's like the most dangerous character in it. It's ridiculous. Like, it's really and then there's another girl. Like, this is meant to take place in our world. The monkey character in it, she's like this girl, and she's a diplomat. Just she's trying to stop the Zodiac War. She doesn't want people to see people kill each other anymore. And she has a flashback, and she's just training with a bunch of monkeys. And the monkeys are all kung fu masters, and they're teaching her kung fu. And it's like, all right. And it's kind of one of these shows that you just go with. But it's really fun, and like, it all takes place in an empty city block. And so you're like, okay, this character's here, and this character's here, and oh fuck, these two are gonna have to battle now. And it's like, oh shit, these two formed an alliance, but now these two have formed an alliance, but now this person's betrayed this person. I haven't seen anyone talk about it. I'm having a good time with it. Maybe not for everyone, but
Cool.
it seems cool. And that's all I'm going to recommend
Okay.
right now.
Niamh, you want to talk about a movie you watched?
Yeah, it's The Mist. I wanted to show my girlfriend the film The Mist because she'd only seen the TV series with me, and I felt like that's like the worst introduction to anything The Mist could offer.
Yep.
But what's cool about this version of The Mist I watched it on Blu-ray, and it provided the black and white version.
Oh, I want to watch that version.
It's gorgeous. It isn't just black and white. They've messed with the contrast and the saturation.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it looks like a proper black and white film. The lighting is amazing, and it really did a lot to kind of mask some of the shitty CG in that, but it also just kind of breathed a new life into it. Like, I went back and looked at some of my favorite black and white shots in color, and they were just like boring shots. Like, there's one shot at the start where they're just traveling together in the van with the neighbor, and it's just normal in color, but in the black and white version, it was so moody and pretty and timeless. I was like, it just made me love the film all over again.
That's
because
so
of the black
cool.
and white.
I think it was originally supposed to be in black and white, and he had to argue, and there was an argument with the studio that they shot in color. But they shot in color, but they had a plan to always do a black and white version and color grade certain shots. So that's where that comes from.
It's also started that whole like black and white version on Blu-ray that they did with like Mad Max, and they did it with Logan as well.
Really?
Yeah, and
I think they've done it with King Kong as well, the Peter Jackson King Kong, just because the original is so iconic.
I don't think like Logan or Mad Max. I think the best part of Mad Max is the color. So I don't know if I'd
kind of
particularly like to see that in black and white, but it was interesting to see a film I'd originally seen in color in black and white and really appreciate it all over again. So definitely worth a watch, and it's still a good movie. Still like it a lot.
Yeah, I love that film.
That's deadly. Was it Frankenweenie that they shot all the props for the stop motion were built in black and white so that the studio couldn't go back?
I think so, yeah. Or I think they were in black and white, or they were like these weird rich purples that show up well in black and white. Because I know the original is Adam Family TV show from the 60s. All the sets are in purple, because it looked nice in black and white.
Really?
So they're these weird, crazy purple tones.
It's so interesting when like stuff is done in black and white, because that means like tone becomes so much more important. And when I say tone, I mean how light or dark something is, as opposed to like the tone of the color. And I feel like tone is so undervalued in not just TV, but like a lot of illustration and stuff like that. People just don't think about it. And when you make that one of the primary visual ways to tell your story, the results can be so interesting.
It's also like a thing for accessibility. If you are colorblind, tone is so important to get across visual information. And so many people are colorblind, and it does make for a nicer, better illustration and shot.
Yeah, it just means you're using things like thickness of objects as a way to draw focal points, I guess.
Yeah. And I feel
they're using different methods.
I feel like there was a point in the PlayStation 2 and Xbox era where consoles were really starting to think about tone, and there was like a lot of dynamic lighting, like the first Splinter Cell stuff, and that was really cool. But now I feel like we've gotten to a point where like usability and stuff has become so prominent in games that everywhere is this perfect mid lighting. Like even places that are meant to be dark don't feel dark; they all just feel the same level of lit. And I would really like to see a return to like deeper, darker shadows in video games, especially because I think, especially with stealth, there's such good stuff you can do there. Guys, I can't pretend to care about tone anymore, and I can't pretend to care about anything we've been talking about because I feel like we're just lying. There is such bigger, more important things about to happen. And I can't fucking pretend to care about Stranger Things Season 2. I can't pretend to care about the Zodiac War. I can't pretend to care about any of that shit because we need to talk about the final film in President Evil.
From the leading name in biotechnology comes Regenerate, another breakthrough from the Umbrella Corporation.
President Evil.
Will I read out the synopsis, everyone? This is Resident Evil, the final chapter, released in 2016. The film stars Alice and her friends are betrayed by Albert Wesker, who gathers the entire forces of the Umbrella into one final strike against the apocalypse survivors.
Is that it? Is that the synopsis?
That's the synopsis.
Okay.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
Well, there's a big long one here about Cape Town, South Africa. Well, Manhattan. Here we go. They're doing a fucking world tour by the sounds of it.
So this has one of my favorite, not only lines of dialogue, but just pieces of writing I've ever experienced. In that Jorah Mormont from Game of Thrones is back in this movie, despite being killed in the third movie.
Yeah.
And the good guys are literally like, we killed you, and he's just like, no, that was my clone.
I think he was actually killed in the second movie, in Apocalypse.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because Apocalypse ended with Alice fighting Nemesis.
Yeah.
And the one after that was the one in the desert, and that's the one where he turned into a monster at the end.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right.
Yep.
It's the third film.
See, Niamh, I know my Resident Evil films.
He's a big fan.
Big fan. And I just... the balls on them just to be like, no, man, that was a clone. Like, you could do that in any story ever.
But they've established clones.
Yeah,
it's not a knock. I'm impressed.
They just went for it.
That they just went for it. I thought this film did like a reasonably good job of like putting story and context to pretty much the entire Resident Evil movie series. I feel like I've been watching music videos, like hour-and-a-half long music videos, and they're all nearly precisely an hour and a half, by the way. This one is a little longer because they needed to wrap it all up.
This is the end of a 6-film adventure.
Mm-hmm. And we have been on an adventure, like we really have. I feel like I've learned a lot.
Is this
especially
the one,
about Niamh?
Niamh, is this the one that really, really got to you personally?
I liked this more than the last film, but I was a little disappointed because I felt the fight choreography wasn't as good as it usually is because they did a lot of close-ups and not a lot of full body shots.
Yeah.
And I really like the fight scenes of these Resident Evil films.
Yeah, they're fun. They're really fun.
So I was that kind of bummed me out, but I did enjoy it as a film.
I felt like Wesker got the short end of the stick in this movie.
They did not use Wesker well at all.
Like, a door killed him.
Yeah.
Sorry if I just spoiled the movie on you. But also, I wouldn't worry about spoilers for this franchise.
Yeah, no.
Like, a door literally closes on him. That's how he dies.
Okay, but you know how I think it's the 4th movie that has the famous scene that's uploaded to YouTube, isn't it?
The Wesker fight with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 4th one.
But you know how that kind of looks like a made-for-TV movie in some places, or it looks kind of direct to DVD.
Yeah.
Direct to DVD is what it. Yeah.
But does the final chapter look a bit more cinematic again, or does it look direct to DVD still?
It's weird because the entirety of this film is literally a road with a tank driving down it.
Yeah.
So it looks good, but they don't really do a lot that it wouldn't look.
Yeah, I think I was actually like, I watched this with Michelle, and Michelle works at CG, and she was like, this one doesn't look as bad as the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
They have a pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they did a decent job of like actually filling in a lot of the holes that the other 5 films
were punching through. Yeah.
And it felt a lot more like a coherent story, this movie, I thought. And like, I thought, I liked seeing Alice, it all come together for her in a kind of semi-meaningful way. And
is the Red Queen in it, or Jill, Chris, is Leon in it?
This is it. Leon isn't in it. It's named characters is Alice and Claire's in this one as well. Is Chris Redfield in this one?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Leon definitely isn't back. The Red Queen is back on this, but it goes full circle, and this time she's trying to help Alice.
Yeah. Niamh, some of the arguments you made in favor of Resident Evil 7's plot now make even less sense to me.
It's more thematic.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah. This also has like Ruby Rose in it.
She was very good.
She was like, she acted quite well.
Do you know who she used to go out with?
Like, who?
One of the Veronicas.
She's still going out with her.
I think they broke up.
Oh no, it's a lesbian drama.
They stopped following each other on Instagram and they deleted all their photos of each other.
Oh my god, that happened lately with like Demi Moore and her girlfriend. Not Demi Moore, Demi Lovato.
For a second
the other
there,
Demi.
I was like, Demi Moore's a lesbian?
Ruby Rose meets her end in this film in probably the most Resident Evil manner possible. There's a giant fan, and you just go, well, someone's going to die by the fan.
Or Ruby has to get it.
Yeah.
She also gets the short end of the stick in John Wick 2.
Yeah.
She plays like a deaf assassin in it, or a deaf mute assassin.
Man,
who talks in sign language.
I fucking love assassins with like disabilities.
Oh, it's so cool because it means they've got other skills that are sharpened to balance it out.
Because like, the Hammer Girl in the Raid 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's something up with her. Like, she ain't quite right.
Yeah,
but she knows how to use a fucking hammer, and she has used it to her advantage.
I really thought Ruby Rose's character would be like Hammer Girl in John Wick 2, and they kind of set her up like she's going to be this like cool fight, and I think the fight's over in a minute, and it's really, really underwhelming.
I think that's kind of I haven't seen the John Wick movies, and I know I need to watch them.
They're brilliant.
Yeah, I'd say
they're really, really good films.
I'd say I'll enjoy them, but isn't that his kind of thing? He kind of just curb stomps everyone.
Yeah, but then like sometimes some of the fights go on for like 15 minutes, and you're like, oh, this is the long fight. I didn't know I'd mentally prepared a shorter fight. Here we go.
I feel like these like kind of rando celebrities that aren't actors kind of always get the short end of the stick when they're in a film. She's in the XXX movie as well, The Return of Xander Cage. She survives it, but she's like a sniper.
I will never forget like seeing a little piece of that through like the seats when we were on the plane back from LA. Just like, oh, what's he watching? And just not even recognizing
Vin
Diesel. And like, I just thought it was like I thought you were watching some like foreign Cuban film starring this old man in a weird coat, and then I was like, oh no.
It's so good. There's a fight in traffic where he just keeps getting hit by cars.
Oh, that's amazing.
Did you watch the one where he turns into Ice Cube for a while and then turns back into regular Vin Diesel?
What? No.
It's the second XXX where it's like, here he is, Xander Cage, but instead it's Ice Cube. But I think he still has the same code name and shit.
Ice Cube shows up at the end of the Return of Xander Cage as well.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all ties it. Yeah.
It's like poetry.
Yeah, it is.
It rhymes.
Oh man, verse 2, verse 1 and verse 2 become verse 3. Holy shit, everyone!
So verse 6 of the Resident Evil franchise. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoy these movies. I would really like to see these movies on a big screen. And
it might happen.
Maybe I'll be able to see the reboot on the big screen.
Mm-hmm. The reboot won't have Alice in it. How do you feel about that now?
Sorry, John.
That's like...
Watch The Fifth Element.
I feel like that's the same feeling as like if a fan fiction I was semi-amused with, if the author made a post being like, guys, I'm not writing these anymore. And I'd just be like, oh.
Well, I felt a little more emotion, I guess, but I'm also like okay with it being something else.
How much more emotion, Niamh?
Well, like,
Did you cry?
Because you grew up with this series.
yeah, I really did. And I think, like, it's probably been Mila's only job. So, like...
She's been in stuff.
It's just her and her husband making money.
It's her franchise, though. It's really her franchise.
I ended up reading up on Mila, and she's one of those fucking weird super people.
She has her own fashion line.
She
speaks
busy.
like 5 languages.
Yeah, she's a very, very busy person.
Yeah.
I will miss her because I genuinely like her.
The only part... Yeah, I actually do really like her. Like, I don't really give a shit about her character, but I think Mila Jovovich is really awesome and really fun, and, like, she looks super cool and it's everything. The only part that I don't like is at the start of every movie when she does her...
I'm Alice.
And it's, like, in the weirdest voice. It's like, my name is Alice.
Why'd you sound like a weird woman?
I remember everything. That's what she sounds like, and it's so weird. And she speaks like that for about 8 minutes as she sums up the previous movies, and then she just talks in a cool girl voice after that. Not like a weird like Kermit the Frog after being hit by a car voice.
Could you say like 1 or 2 more things, or could I?
Feed me some lines.
Okay, would you like fries with that?
Would you like fries with that?
Why does it sound like that?
I don't know.
What did you think of the ending? So this is the final chapter.
I'm going to be perfectly honest, Niamh. I don't quite remember it, despite being completely sober while watching it.
So at the end, she kind of, like, the idea is that, like, I presume no one really cares about this as a spoiler, because, like, what does it matter? Because it literally doesn't. So, like,
they're not real movies.
So at the end, she's like, she kind of has to sacrifice herself to end it all, but then she's still alive. And Claire's like, you're still alive. Yeah, I guess so. And that's just it.
So the way I see that is like, what's the name of the director?
W.T. Anderson? No, wait. Paul W.S. Anderson.
Paul W.S. Anderson. He calls like the final shot on the movie, and Alice is after dying, and he's like, okay, that's a wrap, everyone. Everyone claps, and everyone's real quiet, and they all show up to the after party later. And he gets drunk, and he's like, no, we're going back in there, and we're making this right. And then he makes the version where like Alice gets back up and is fine.
He's at the party, and he's like, save Alice, save Alice, and no one's joining him.
And he starts clapping, and he's like, save Alice.
When he's taking off his shirt. Do you think you'll watch the 3D animated motion capture ones?
Yeah,
because that is our newest section, President Evil Plus. I'm dead serious, by the way. We are actually going to do that. That's going to be the section replacing President Evil. Mm-hmm. I hope everyone has enjoyed President Evil, though. I know it's sure made me feel some things.
If you guys were watching these movies, and I doubt anyone did, and I don't blame you, but if you were and you enjoyed them or didn't, just let us know. Let me know personally. Send us an email.
Ask Let's Fight a Boss at gmail.com.
Ask Let's Fight a Boss at gmail.com. Niamh badly needs some personal connection.
Yeah.
Niamh's very lonely.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to move on to the next section? Can we please move on to the next section?
Moving into our strategy talk.
We got some games.
Oh man, we got some games. I'm trying to think, what is the best place to start at here?
Just continue with what you've already been playing. May as well.
Okay. There's a couple of big games here, but I'm going to go with, I guess, the one everyone's going to want to hear our opinions on.
Okay.
I have been playing Doki Doki Literature Club, and this was one that's requested to me a lot on Steam, and it's a visual novel. And have you guys, Brian, what are you doing?
Sticking my head inside my t-shirt.
Have you guys heard of this game at all?
No.
So
no, yeah, like what?
I don't even know how to talk about this game. It's like
this makes my butt go doki doki.
It's okay. So the whole idea is that you're this boy, and you know this girl, and she brings you to join her after-school literature club, which is where you go and you write poems with a bunch of girls.
I assume this takes place in a high school in Tokyo.
Oh, you betcha.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Which girl did you think? Oh yeah.
So it's a waifu game.
It's an absolute waifu game, and
But what's the hook?
So the hook is that you go home every night and you write a poem. But you writing a poem is you pick 20 words from a list of words, And when you pick a word, you can see the little portraits of all your little potential waifus, and it'll make the one happy. The one that like the word, when you pick the right word for the right girl, it'll make her happy.
Just like how all great poets write.
It's exactly how me and Michelle started going out. And so your choices for a girl are the super athletic, sporty class president, the girl for pedophiles, and the moody goth girl.
There's only 3 of them.
Who has boobs.
She's got boobs,
So
though.
I literally don't know if you would go for moody goth girl or sport girl.
Thank God you said.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, John.
I mean, that's kind of the two flavor. Well,
It's the 2 flavor of women.
that I like.
I don't know. John, you should explore that third option.
No.
John.
No.
It's okay.
No. It's the goth girl, by the way. That's the
Okay.
one, yeah. But at the start of this game, there's also a content warning. And it's like, hey, if you're sensitive to violence or anything, you probably shouldn't play this game. And it's like a very prominent warning, and it's like, for a list of very specific content warnings, please visit our website. Like, they're taking this really seriously.
Okay.
They don't want you to play this game if you're easily upset by anything. And I'm about 2 hours into this game, and I have seen nothing.
Yeah, like it's a poetry club.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a murder mystery thing?
There is something fucking weird going on. Okay, I'm going to put a little timestamp here. I don't know a whole lot about this game, but I am going to talk about what I think is kind of strange about it. If you're the kind of person who likes to go into stuff completely fresh, we'll leave a little timestamp that you can skip to. But
Skip ahead at this point, please.
so when you're picking the words for the girls, I like the goth girl. So I pick like
Spider.
Words. Yeah,
Gloom,
totally. Gloomy.
despair,
like,
shadows.
Yeah. But occasionally a word will come up like isolation. And you're like, what? And you pick isolation. And one of the girls you wouldn't think likes that word. And then like later on, a word will come up like murder. And you'll pick it. And one of the girls you think wouldn't like that word would like that word. And it's like, basically all the messed up words, one of the girls likes them all. And it's like, I think that's really clever. Like, that's a really interesting way to be like, this character's kind of... Because, like, you're just playing it and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what? Why? And the writing in it, like, the characters are really tropey. Like, really, really tropey. But it feels self-aware in a way that's not, like, too cloying or anything like that. And, like, the writing isn't actually bad. Like, the characters actually... I spent some time with the goth girl, and I feel like we've developed a little bit of a rapport. I feel like there's something to her. She's not just... She is kind of a trope, but, like, the writing's not bad. I'm entertained reading it, you know?
She's your kind of trope.
Yeah, but...
It's okay,
It's
John.
genuinely okay writing. Like, it's totally fine. So, I'll update next time, but I have a very strong feeling this game's going somewhere, especially considering how many times it's been recommended.
What's this game called?
Do you think is it a possibility where you don't have to pick these words at all, and then you could get like a vanilla run through where nothing fucked happened? Or is it a game where something like that is the point of the game?
So I've seen one screenshot from later on in the game, and I have no idea how it gets there. Wait, what? Like, what? And like, because obviously the way I'm talking now, it seems like it could just be like, one of them's a murderer.
Yeah.
The screenshot I saw seemed so far beyond anything of that nature. I think the game is interesting. Cool. And as well, when you write the poem, that's also you making the decision for which girl you want to spend time with the next day. And so now, like, the girls are like, man, you two are really spending a lot of time together. Me and Yuri, my friend. It's also free, completely free. You can just download it. It has a Mac version and a PC version. If you'll know yourself or not if this sounds like it's up your alley. I'm having a good time with it, and I'm excited to see where it's going. Thanks to everyone who recommended it to me on Twitter, by the way. it seems genuinely cool.
Okay. But just the name of the game one more
Doki
time.
Doki Literature Club.
Doki Doki Literature Club. Here we go, everyone.
Here we go, everyone. A fresh new adventure.
Something to play with Mom.
Yeah. So now that we've gotten the big AAA game out of the way, Niamh, tell us about Assassin's Creed.
Or as we like to call it, Ass Creed, but now we're calling it...
For a long time we called it Ass Creed, and Niamh stepped up today and evolved that name into something that made us all very happy.
Butt Creed.
Butt Creed!
Butt Creed. The best Ubisoft game out there.
So Butt Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins, I've been playing it for about 10 hours. And I really like it.
Nice.
I like the Egypt aesthetic of the world, and the game looks really, really, really nice. Like it's Assassin's Creed, like it's the same type of gameplay that has been in all Assassin's Creed, but battle system is a bit reworked in a sense that it's kind of harder.
I have heard people refer to it as Souls-like.
Yeah, you need to dodge a lot. Like, I've been avoiding sword combat all along because it's I get myself killed, so I've been mostly dealing with arrows and sleep darts. And,
so it's an actual stealth game?
Yeah.
Wow,
to be honest,
cool.
It kind of plays a little bit more like the last Metal Gear.
Cool.
Like, I am stealthing it, I am sleep darting, I'm whistling to call guards, I'm doing that kind of stuff. I am very rarely getting into sword fights. If I get into a sword fight, it's because I fucked up, or it's because it's a wild animal.
Yeah.
There's cool stuff in the world.
You are the prey.
Yeah, there's really cool animals in the world. I was just like on a river going up to Alexandria. This giant hippo attacked me, and I had to run because that hippo was ready to kick my ass.
Oh, hippos are fast.
I would
Yeah.
not fight a hippo ever.
Me neither. I was like, I need to get out of here.
Aren't they responsible for like more deaths in the wild than like lions?
Yeah, they are, but
Yeah.
they're worse than crocodiles and lions combined.
But they have such a mellow appearance. We're all just like, it's fine.
They bite your
Yeah.
arm clean off.
They're like they're big and scary. There's like really like there's cool cats around. There's hyenas around. There's like loads of snakes.
I guess
There's
Africa, yeah, you got a huge selection to work
There's flamingos. There's a lot of cool nature going around, and they're just kind of existing in the world, and that's nice. I love the location. I love the sand contrasted with the blue sky. Like it's a really pretty game. My mount is a camel. I don't think I've ever ridden a camel in a game before, and that's kind of cool.
Are there any horses, or is it just camels?
There's horses as well, but like I mean, why ride a horse when there's camel?
Camels look hilarious when they run. They look like assholes.
But yeah, they do. And the thing is, I was like, is the animation on this camel shitty, or do camels just have a weird gait? They have a weird gait. The horse rides perfectly, but the camel's like, blah, 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 like, you know, it just has this weird run to it.
I think it's because they move both the limbs on the side of it. They move both their right legs at the same time and both their left legs, so they look like just fucking idiots.
They have a weird stride.
You can feel that with the animation. It feels weird.
I can remember one time I went to the zoo, Dublin Zoo, and they have giraffes there, but the giraffes were running around, and because their legs are so long, they move in slow motion. It's just taking ages, but you're seeing every bit of it.
I get you.
I know it's so weird to see an animal like that move.
Mm-hmm. The story I've heard haven't liked the start because it drops you right into a story. Like,
I've heard nothing but bad things about the start.
Does it put you into like a following mission right away?
No, it's not like I haven't played any following missions. It drops you, like, you press start and you are dropped into a boss fight where you have like just assassinated one of your main 5 targets. Like, it's just, there's no context for what's happening. You don't know if the character you're playing is Bayek because, like, even with the concept art you've seen, this guy has a beard and long hair. Like, there's literally no context for any of it, and it goes on for a really long time. I didn't mind it, like...
I wonder, is that nearly a response to, like... Because traditionally Assassin's Creed games start out so slow, and maybe they wanted to directly counter that. They wanted to be like, oh, we'll drop them straight into the action, and there they have, and everyone's like, why does it start so weird? Yeah,
because now they're like, as I'm progressing the story, I'm getting a lot of flashbacks to the point that actually has brought me to this point, which plays out weird, but I personally don't mind it. Like, I'm playing Assassin's Creed for the historical fiction narrative. Like, you know, I like the stories of these games. I like the main character. I think is cool. I've just met his wife Aya. They've brought back, you know, the way it was Desmond Miles in the real world, and he was playing these characters in the VR Animus world, they took away a named character in the real world, and it was just you were a faceless employee of a company.
Yeah.
So you were the employee. You as a player was the employee of the world. They've brought back a named character in the real world now. So you kind of go out of the Animus and you play as an archaeologist in Egypt.
Right.
In present-day Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like that. I think that's cool, and I'm happy that they brought that back. I'm happy there's a named character.
Yeah, I always thought that was kind of like... And I'm not a fan of the Assassin's Creed series, but I always thought that was interesting, at least.
Mm-hmm. The store is super in your face all the time.
Like, fucking bullshit.
And just in a really weird way. So when you start up the game, you're in the loading screen and you're kind of running around this kind of Animus thing where it's kind of loading in. The first, game hint that comes up is store. Enhance your game with the store. And then the next one is like how to block or something. Then when you're in the real world and you're using the character's laptop, there's one of the panels on the laptop. You can go through emails, like you can see her photos. You can just get like a whole pile of flavor text for this character. The next tab over is store. On the main page when you start the game, it's start game, and under it, store. Like,
that's so gross.
Like, it's just everywhere. Like, you don't have to buy anything, but every time I've turned this game on, I've seen the word store, and it's really, really infuriating because it's kind of like, oh, stop.
I found that very extreme in like Far Cry 4 as well.
Yeah.
Like where there's like there's like guns that it's like log into the Ubisoft blah blah to unlock this stupid fucking gun, you asshole, and it's like. Mm-hmm. Like, if I like your game enough, I will go to the store myself.
Yeah, it's kind of like people know you are selling shit. People will find your stuff on the PSN store, or they will find the tab that says store. But it just working it into an in-game prop like her laptop really annoyed me. I was just like, so she has the store to buy him shit in-game. Like, it seemed really stupid.
That totally breaks the fiction.
Yeah.
Like people are selling things through the Animus.
Mentioning broken fiction, there's a photo on her laptop that shows our boy Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs.
Oh my god!
And he's named as kind of in the same vein as the other historical assassins, which means Aiden Pierce in Watch Dogs was an assassin all the time, and not just a deranged
the most
loser.
Wanky piece of shit I've ever heard.
That's
Are you
so cool.
serious? Yeah, that's really cool.
They just won't let Aiden Pierce die. Someone at Ubisoft loves him.
Well, I bet somewhere down the line they want to make a Smash Brothers of Ubisoft characters, and Aiden's going to be in it.
Oh man, finally, Raymond and Aiden Pierce going toe to toe. We can finally answer the question of who is the most strong Ubisoft character.
So far, I'm having a really good time. I'm excited to see where this historical fiction narrative takes me. The map is huge, kind of dauntingly huge. But all the locations so far have been really, really pretty. And I really I was climbing a building and I had to stop and just be like, the architecture on this is really nice. Like, there's cool stuff and there's cool, little set pieces around. And I'm happy I gave it a go.
Does this game have the tower system that's in the other Ubisoft games?
Not so much. The tower system now is a fast travel system. So if you want to unlock a fast travel point, you climb to a tower and you unlock that point.
But does it give you a bunch of dots on your map that are side quests?
No, those dots are on the map anyway, or you kind of go into an area. As you're walking around, it'll be like, area found. So it seems a bit more natural to unlocking quests than just kind of having all these markers pop up when you climb something.
So,
cool.
Say if you're someone who has never taken to Assassin's Creed at all, is this game going to change that?
If you haven't played any and I think you like the aesthetic of Egypt, I think it might be a good game to try because there's enough of that there too. But I think you'll enjoy Bayek's story enough.
Bayek seems like a cool guy.
He is
my favorite design from that series by a lot. He's just a fucking cool Egyptian ninja looking guy.
Do you want to talk about the Assassin's Creed dressing gown that I showed you both? So, in Ireland, and I guess UK, it's called Primark, but in Ireland it's called Pennies. I guess in America they have JCPenney. Is that the equivalent?
I wonder.
It's a bit like TJ Maxx, or it's kind of like cheaper clothing, but they do a lot of licensed clothing as well, so I bought Game Boy underwear, which is kind of cool. But among the other underwear, they had other video games, so they had Call of Duty underwear, Pac-Man underwear, but they also had Assassin's Creed underwear.
Give me a call when they get that Toe Jam and Earl underwear.
You betcha. But the Assassin's Creed underwear went beyond the underwear. They had 2 different types of dressing gowns with the hoods. And so we're thinking Niamh gets the dressing gown and the underwear and she's ready to go. She's ready to sneak.
That's my gaming outfit.
Niamh, was it you who were like, imagine you were making out with someone and they had, what was it?
The Call of Duty boxers.
Call of Duty.
Imagine if you've gotten to the point with someone, you had like a great night, you go back to their place, Call of Duty boxers.
Because like, at that point, can you be like, I'm cool, man?
Because you'd
like,
have to explain it.
Yeah, and then like I feel like you're as fucking weird as them at that point.
Because to be that bothered.
Because it's like, listen, dude, a ghost was so disappointing, man. You know.
It's just so weird as well because if it was like the Mario ones or the Pac-Man ones, even the Assassin's Creed ones, I'd be like,
oh, I think I'd have to talk to someone if they had Assassin's Creed underwear. I think I'd be
guess
like,
who bought those Assassin's Creed underwear, John?
Why we don't date me. But yeah, I think I'd be like, oh shit, I think this was a mistake.
Jesus Christ. Alright. This was supposed to be a funny thing and now I'm harrowing. Oh dear. Can we talk about another game?
So Brian.
Yeah?
The time has finally come.
Okay.
New Mario game is here. It's Super Mario Odyssey. Why don't you tell us a little about it?
Okay. I've played 12 hours of Super Mario Odyssey. I've beaten the game and I have over 500 moons.
How many moons is there?
999.
Are they hard to get?
No.
Okay.
Some of them you just walk up a hill and it's there. Halfway up the hill. It's that kind of... It's really weird how you get them. Okay, this is a great game. But I don't get why people are saying it's perfect. It's not.
People are going nuts about it.
Yeah,
like the reviews are super glowing.
Yeah, people really, really want this game to be the sequel to Mario 64. I don't know why they're so desperate for that. Maybe it works great as a nice headline on a little think piece. It's definitely its own game, I feel. It's cool that they're still making, I think it's very hard to make a Mario game in 2017 and make it feel magical. I know last year they had Super Mario Run and that was just a response to current technology, but it's cool to see like a proper 3D Mario adventure. So there's some stuff in this game that I absolutely love. It's fantastic. But then there's other things where I'm kind of disappointed.
Like what? Give us something you love and something you hate.
Some things I love are just the controls are fantastic, and there's
you move Mario the first time you play it, and you're like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, it just feels so natural.
Yeah,
and I've watched so many videos of people like doing cool combo jumps with Mario. You can get 5 jumps out of him if you time it right. It's fantastic. But then I think there's realistically, there's about 12 levels in the game, which is not that many.
Yeah, saying you've done 12 hours and you've finished it and you've gotten more than half the stars is kind of worrying.
Yeah, it's not a big game. But that kind of gets me thinking that this game is out in the first 6 months of the Switch. They're going to make a Mario Odyssey 2, and I'd say there's going to be ideas. I'm really, really happy with this game. I want to see what they do next with this concept. Because it was really, really cool to see a sandbox Mario game. Haven't seen one of them since Sunshine. I love the Galaxy games and I love Mario 3D World, but they were in a different direction. This is going in a previous direction, but it also has a lot of limitations on it in some aspects.
Why do you think it's limited?
The lack of level designs. Like, for example, there's 2 water levels and they're very, very weak. There's no haunted house level. There's no boos in the game. There's Goombas in the game. There's no Bob-ombs. There's Koopas in it, but you don't jump on them or get shells out of them, except in the 2D side-scrolling bits. You just race them, which is a Mario 64. But there's bits and pieces that are missing.
Yeah. So I've played maybe 5 or 6 hours of it.
Yeah.
I've got about I think I've just got under 100 moons.
Did you get to New Donk City yet?
Yes.
I love New Donk City. That bit's fantastic.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's a really cool game. I think like there is obviously an incredible amount of work got into it.
Yeah.
Like the visuals and the animation, like it is the best Mario has ever looked by far. Like it looks fucking fantastic. I think when the game's at its strongest, it's when it's like really exploring movements and how characters move, especially the possession mechanic. Like everything you possess feels good to move around in. The Goombas feel good. I did the race with the snow guys, and you can like bounce with them. Did you do that?
Yep.
That feels fucking awesome. And the game is designed in a way that it keeps you playing very handily. It's like the Zelda thing. It's the exact same philosophy. There's always something to go and look at. And that's reinforced by the way the moons work. Previously in Mario games, you would spend like half an hour trying to get 1 star, especially like Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine or stuff like that. Then I think it got a little easier in Mario Galaxy. The flow would be a little more, the levels would be smaller.
Yeah.
And this one, it's where you're getting a moon every couple of minutes. Like
especially at the start of a level.
Every 3 or 4 minutes, you're bumping into a moon.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
I think it's good in that it is really kicking into people's desire for acknowledgement and dopamine. Mm-hmm. So it is keeping people playing, and like watching other people's impressions of this, you can really see how this kind of constant like carrot on the stick approach is just keeping them going and going, and people are marathoning this game, playing it very quickly. For me personally, I never really get the sense of achievement from it that I do from beating the harder levels in Mario or getting the trickier stars, and I never really feel like I earned the shines, honestly.
No.
Like, I feel like, I have taken the correct path, and now the game is showing me this, and the game showed me some cool things on the way, and I'm in a constant state of, like, pleasant surprise with this. It's like, oh, wow, this enemy can do this, and I can possess this guy. But there's never been a point yet where the game has made me been like, fuck yeah, like that was awesome, like I did this, you know?
Yeah. I think the game has a lot of backtracking, which is cool, that you can that there's something you don't want to do, you could do it later.
Yeah.
But the game is also super linear in that you're just picking your level from a straight line level select menu.
Yeah.
There's no hub world or anything like that.
Oh.
Which I think is a shame.
I think when people say it's the sequel to Mario 64,
there is some fan servicey bits, but no.
I question when the last time they played Mario 64 was, because Mario 64 is such a different beast to this game.
Yeah, and there's way more variety in Mario 64. There's a lot of different levels, and even the mountain levels in Mario 64 do different things. Like in this one, it always starts you at the bottom or at one corner of a map, and you have to traverse across it. There's some levels in Mario 64 where it starts you at the top of a mountain and you have to make your way down. There's no... It's missing
and
things like that.
And it felt like Mario 64 as well had like so many secrets, like so many weird things you could do. But for the most part in this game, most of the stuff I feel like there's secret areas to find, which is kind of fun. But there was stuff in Mario 64 that nearly felt like you were glitching out the game. Like how you could jump into specific points on some of the paintings to start in like higher and lower versions of the levels, and I thought that was really cool. This game, it feels way more tested. It feels way more user focused. Like it's this really, really like ultra groomed experience where they want everyone to like.
They've softened the edges out of this.
They've softened the edges, like, and in a way that's great because this game plays fucking awesome, and I can sit down with this game and an hour will just pass by as I'm like, oh, I'll do this and I'll do this.
It's very addictive, yeah.
Yeah, very addictive, and like, a huge amount of work went into this game. It is not setting my world on fire.
No. I'm playing this,
and it's weird, Brian, because I think we're both on the same page with that, and I am the only person. Well, like we are the only people who I've seen like this.
You know Pro Jared, he's a gamer YouTuber.
Yeah.
He does a fantastic review because he's kind of...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, what's the like-dislike bar on that review?
I haven't... I actually must check it out because he's always like he actually says that he got a copy from Nintendo in advance, and he gives it like a really, really honest review from someone who's grown up with Mario and loves the 3D Mario games and has an expectation on what he got out of it.
And I love the shit out of Mario. Like, there is a world where I could build a top 5 games list and they could all have Mario in the title. Like I know Niamh, but fuck you. Go back to Assassin's Creed.
Bud Creed.
But yeah, I'm enjoying this game. It's a cool game, but like, I don't see myself going to bat for this at Game of the Year. I don't think about it a lot when I'm not playing it.
But
I am shocked.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, because all I've seen on the internet is like super hype for it, and you're my Mario humans that I know.
It's an incredible game. Like it is genuinely, like, it's an achievement. There is so much cool stuff in this game.
It's a disappointing masterpiece. It's fucking weird.
I don't know. It's just, but I feel like, say the stuff with the moons, you know, like that constant steady flow of like reinforcement. That's also personally not how I work. Like, you guys know me. I like pain and reward. I like struggling for something for an hour and then getting it.
There is some of that after you get 500 moons.
Yeah.
Because there's the easy 50%, there's the hard 50%.
And I see myself going far into this game, but in a way that, like, in a year's time, I'm going to play it on an airplane. I don't see myself obsessively collecting every moon or anything close, you know?
Do you know how you get a lot of the moons? I think it's like 20, 25 per level. You just buy them from the shop.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They cost 100 coins each.
Yeah.
And there's a way to cheese the game so you can get loads of coins.
Sometimes I feel like I see a crack and I go over and I butt stomp the crack and I get a moon and it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
So there isn't, like, what it sounds like to me, I've never played Mario 64, but with Mario 64, there was secrets to uncover. You didn't know what something would bring to you, or it would kind of subvert the expectations you had with one level with new ones. With this, it seems to be, you kind of know where you are with the game from the start of every world.
You have all these expectations and you know the rules of this game already. Like, you know where to stand. And sometimes they'll give you like a clue, but you know exactly what that clue means as soon as you've read like the first 2 words of it. It's got a lot of tropes for collecting things.
And like, sometimes you will see like, oh shit, what's that far off thing over there? I'm going to try and get to that. And then you get to there and then you get a moon. But you can get a moon anywhere. So it feels a bit like, I guess the shines to me, they feel like a little pointless in a way.
Yeah.
Because I know just by making my way through the level, I'm going to get more than I could ever need. But I remember like playing through Mario 64 the first time, and maybe it's unfair to keep comparing it to the game that like engineered the genre, but like being like, oh fuck, like I need 10 more stars to get through this door, and all my options for getting new stars are really difficult.
Yeah.
And I love that, and like there was such a sense of reward when you opened those doors. But with this, like, I know I'm going to get to the next level because you need a very minuscule amount of shines and they're everywhere.
Would you call it easy?
Yes.
Yeah, it's an easy game.
Very easy.
And like the game also has an assist mode that'll stop you from falling off the edges, and it'll give you like a guideline to follow. Because the game is engineered for dumb babies.
I don't mind that, because like I would rather them put in a mode like that as opposed to just make everything super, super easy, even though that's kind of what they've done.
I think they have done that.
Yeah,
that's the problem. They've made the normal mode easy. One big thing that bothers me is that the levels don't have music until you get to a certain bit in it.
I actually kind of like that.
I hate that
because
so
sometimes like I'll veer away from like the main hub of the level and I'll find like a mountain and it's just like ambient noise, and I think that's actually really cool.
I don't mind if it's up on a mountain, but this is just like at the start of the level. There's nothing to like kick you into it.
Yeah.
It works in some levels. Like it has that New Donk City where you're like one block away from the main area, but you'll just arrive and the beat will kick in, and that's really, really cool. But then there's some of them, and there's only one tiny 20-meter area of the level that plays music, and everything else just has like wind.
Do you think that's to drive, again, like with the moons kind of leading you a place, kind of where you probably should be going? It's to kind of drive you to the point where you kind of know you should be there because the music is kicked in.
It does.
So. I think they want you to feel like you're in a tiny miniature world. And I think it does help that a little bit because you do feel like you're traveling further into this place. But,
as well, actually, one thing to praise is that it has like 3 amazing set pieces, one at the start, one in the middle. And the actual final battle kind of set piece is fantastic. All 3 of those are huge highlights for games.
I was a
big
year. Fan of the first one.
Yeah, the first one's brilliant. The one for New Donk City is amazing.
Yeah,
it's super iconic. But like the last one where you catch up with Bowser is so good.
I think like we Brian, we both think like this is obviously a great game. Huge amount of work's gone into it, and I can see why people are getting so much out of it, but it's definitely just personally, it's just not really hitting home with me. I guess as much as I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Niamh, you seem so shocked.
Yeah.
You know how like some of the like Mario level-based Mario games, like you know how something in Mario 3D World or the new Super Mario Brothers, they'll have a level that has like one concept and they'll do like a phase 1, a phase 2, and a phase 3 of that concept and just do it exclusively for that level. So like a Super Switch level where it'll have like 2 panels that you jump with the red switch to the blue switch and vice versa, or there's one that has a rhythm music to it and you have to jump in succession to the beats and the platforms come up when it goes doom doom doom.
Yeah,
there's none of that in this game.
Yeah, and I recently dug out my old copy of Super Mario 3D World and I've been playing through the ultra hard levels of that on the Wii U, and like, oh man, those games, the way they just take like one specific gameplay concept and just like you're saying, Brian, just build and build and build into this like incredible challenge. Like it's so fucking awesome. And maybe all that stuff is ahead of me in Mario Odyssey.
So there is some bits of Mario Odyssey where it'll take you into a door and you just have like it's you at one end and the moon at the other, and you just have a platforming goal. But it's pure platforming, and there's no like some of them have gimmicks, but they don't really have like a phase escalation kind of formula to them that's always been in Mario games. It doesn't have that kind of code. And it's so strange that it doesn't.
You know,
it feels like a collection fest.
I would be fucking delighted to come back to this podcast next episode and be like, man, it kicked in and this happened and this happened. It was fucking amazing. Like, I'd love that. It would be disingenuous if I said I was there now. And like, I know, I can see how many people love this game, and I'm sure the comments will have a field day with this. But this is just my genuine thoughts on this game. You know, it's cool. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with it.
I actually prefer Breath of the Wild to this game.
I think when the first like 10-15 hours of Breath of the Wild fucking bowled me over completely. I have not had that experience with this.
Yeah.
I brought Mario Odyssey home and I played it for 2 hours, and then I put in Evil Within 2.
Let's talk about that.
I fucking love that game so much.
Yeah.
That is so... Oh my god, I cannot believe how much I like this game. It is fucking great. Niamh, do you want to give us a little update before I...
Okay. My experience with this game has gone really, really, really strange, and I did something I should totally not have done. So I got to chapter 6, and I ran into a point where I did not have enough ammo to beat a white woman. That's what I call them. The white women are so fucked up. So it's just like this white woman, they have a butcher knife. And I had one of those, and it was this kind of an area where I unloaded everything I had into her. I had a shock bolt, 6 shotgun shells, 5 handgun bullets. She did not drop. I didn't have anything else.
That's fucking weird. When like the way I always take them down is I stealth kill them and then 3 shotgun bullets.
Just didn't have the ammo, and I couldn't stealth her because it was in a small room, and she doesn't stagger either.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know the bit actually. Yeah.
So I was having like a really, really rough time with that. I decided to go out of the area and maybe collect some ammo and collect some stuff, but that's really difficult to do because it's a hard game.
Very hard.
So you're spending ammo to try and find more ammo, and you're trying to avoid monsters, but the only way you get your level up goo is to kill monsters. So it's kind of, I felt like I was at this place where I had this decision, should I go down to casual? And if you go down to casual, you cannot change back up. And I was just like, oh, well, like, it won't be too casual, right? So I went down to casual. It is literally gone from level 100 to minus 100. It now takes 2 shotgun blasts, not even headshots, just body shots, even a half body shot to take down a white woman.
That completely breaks the design of those enemies.
Yeah.
Like, they're meant to be scary. Now,
Yeah.
the situation you're talking about, that sounds kind of fucked. But
It's like, it's kind of nuts, and now I'm so overpowered and I have so much goo that the only reason I can't level up is because I haven't got the story-specific unlocks to get to the next level of the tree. Like red goo or whatever, or key. I am so OP.
man, would you think of restarting?
Okay, here's the thing. It's not too bad. I'm having a lot of fun being really, really overpowered. I am aggroing a group of 6 zombies. I'm laying a trap of like the explosion bolts, and I'm just running them through it and just watching them all pile up and explode.
Yeah, at least you're role-playing it that way. That's nice.
So, like, I do have a feeling that I would go back and replay this because the tension of the difficulty was kind of what was amazing about the game.
Yeah, and that has been my experience with it. Like, just the level of balance in the difficulty and the way it traps you between being completely fucked and maybe not totally fucked.
It's proper survival horror.
It really, like, in some ways, this is like the purest survival horror experience I've had since like the original Resident Evil. Like, it's fucking beautiful. I like the way it kind of works is it'll drop you in like an area of town, and there's zombies everywhere. Some of them are regular zombies, and like the regular zombies in this game, as Niamh was saying last episode, super dangerous. Like they will kick your ass, and like if you get swarmed by more than 3 or 4 of them, like you're dead. Like you're finished. But then like there'll be more dangerous zombies than that as well, and like oh my god, when I went to the second area, I had an experience where I won't get specific about the enemy type, but there's a very dangerous enemy you meet in that early on, and you have a boss battle with it, and then but then in this new area, it was just wandering around, and I was like, oh fuck, like I don't have the ammunition to kill this thing. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And I was like, well, am I gonna have to like dodge it the entire time I need to be in this map? But it caught me and it started running after me, and so I ran down an alleyway and I like went down another alleyway and tried to lose it, and then I came out onto the main street and it was right in front of me, and I was like, what? And then I turned around and there was another one behind me because there were 2 of them in this fucking place.
No.
and so to deal with both those enemies, because I knew I couldn't have both of them wandering around, because then any time I got triggered by a zombie, I'd risk running into them. So I had to like look at my upgrade tree. I had to look at my upgrade path for my weapons. I had to like look at all my ammunition, and I put this massive elaborate plan into place. And what I essentially ended up doing was getting one of their attention and dragging them across the map in like a Home Alone style traps and hijinks, where I'd bring them to a puddle of water, I'd electrocute them. While they were being electrocuted, I'd run up and smash them in the face with an axe. Then I'd run away and bring them through a minefield, and it was so satisfying. And like that's my favorite part of the game, like going slowly and methodically, working your way through a town and just clearing out all the enemies. And like the stealth feels great, the shooting feels great, the controls feel like fucking shit, but it's a survival horror, so that's fine. And I'm on chapter 10 and I'm having such a great time with this game. I cannot.
Do the enemies respawn, or is it you're playing through a sequence?
There's a bit of a Zelda Red Moon moment that happens,
but it's story triggered.
Yeah.
Okay, right. That's fair. It would just be so disappointing if you kill these 2 guys and then they're like, we're back.
The section I just left, like I cleared the entire town, so I could just wander around.
That's really, I love that.
And the interiors, And just the modeling in general, fucking beautiful.
There's so much shit in there to look
The
at.
amount of bespoke geometry I've seen, the amount of just, like, you walk into a bar and it has a bar stool specific to this bar and it is nowhere else in the game. And oh my god, like, it's just, there's so much to, like, look at. And, like, because the leash is so tight on you, because the ammo is so limited, it's like, whenever you're scavenging and you find anything, like, you find a box of nails and you're like, yes! Because it's like, now I can do this to make this. It is a fantastic game. Like, I cannot believe... Like, okay, here's how I'd put it. I think I told a story before in this podcast where it's like, in The Evil Within 1, I had this moment where a bunch of enemies were running at me. I knocked over a barrel of oil, and I shot the oil, and it exploded, and they all came running through it, and all their dead bodies came, like, flying past me because they were still running as they all dropped dead. It was this amazing moment. Best moment of that game by far. This game is just filled with moments like that. Like, there's so many ways you can approach the situations, and it's so good. And I really hope people don't sleep on this game because it is fucking great.
In the way that it has loads of bespoke, like, environmental artwork and assets, it also has really bespoke enemy encounters.
Yeah.
So that boss that you're talking about that's roaming around, I was like, I'll hide in the bus. And I got into the bus, and all of a sudden, a saw comes through the roof of the bus, and there's just like 100% bespoke animation for that one vehicle that's hanging around.
You might have never seen that.
Yeah.
And that happened to me because I tried to do that as well. And I also learned you can't run away from those guys very easily.
Nope.
I had one follow me through like a diner, a fucking bowling alley, a cinema, and I just couldn't shake it.
Have you got any glitches?
Yeah, I had a hard crash, which sucked. And I had one instance where I killed some enemies and I soaked up their goo, and then when I came back the enemy had respawned and I still had their goo, so I had wasted ammo, but I had gotten the experience from it, but I had to kill them again as well, which kind of sucked.
I had a boss fight where I tried to hop over a truck and I hopped into the back of the truck and I could not leave, but he has this animation, again it's nice because it's bespoke, where he flails wildly in the back of the truck, moves forward, falls over himself, so he's kind of like, whoa! So between my flailing, I could shoot her, but my entire boss fight turned into a glitch. And that kind of sucked, but it was also really hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
So it is kind of buggy.
I also feel like they do something that's pretty clever. They so when you're wandering around the town, that's your main kind of like combat. And I find so far anyway, most of the time when you go into like an area, like a specific place, it's much lighter on the combat. There will be enemies, but they're pretty few and far between. And so for the most part, they're more bringing you through these haunted houses where weird things happen. And like some of the visuals, like the way reality warps in that game is pretty cool.
There's some really good monster design in this as well, like really good stuff.
It's a really good game. Like honestly, one of my favorite of the year so far.
Same, really liking it.
I think you'd probably really get a kick out of it.
Cool. I might have to give it a go at some point.
Yeah. Just, man, who saw this coming?
How do you feel about the narrative so far, the story?
I feel like it's hokey. I just, like, you know, I had a big boss battle with an important character, and that's kind of gone, and now new powers have revealed themselves, and I thought one of the new bad guys was fucking awesome. I was like, what? That's crazy! Okay. And then the other one was like, oh, you're like a spooky priest, I guess. Woo!
Hello.
I guess, honestly, I feel like this game knows it's a B movie. And it leans into that. And so I kind of forgive a lot of its narrative shit for that.
I love the narrative shit. Like, that's the reason I played these games, because I think it's silly, but you also have the tension of the gameplay.
Yeah, and I think it delivers on it in a way the first one did not.
Yeah. Like, it really heavily leans into it. There's just, like, I really like the use of white substance. Which is
so weird.
It's
so
gross,
cool.
And it's cool, and it actually slows you down, so you have to consider that when you're moving. You don't want to get stuck in white goo.
Have you beaten the game?
No, I think I'm chapter 11 at this
Right.
stage. I'm nearly there.
Could we talk about Nurse Tatiana for a second?
Yeah.
Who? Nurse Tatiana.
She's perfect.
Really?
I love her so much.
Is she top tier waifu?
Absolutely.
She's best girl.
She like
She kind of has nothing but disdain for you.
she's like 10% flirty.
Yeah.
90% thinks you're a piece of shit. It's
10% flirty, 10% kind of low-key concerned about you,
Yeah.
and then 80% kind of thinks you're shit.
just like neutral disdain.
Yeah, neutral, yeah.
And it's such a good mix. And like, oh, she's so cool.
I think I preferred her location from the first game. Like,
Yeah.
I felt she had a...
Did she speak in the first game?
Yeah, she did, but not so monotonely.
Yeah.
Like, I felt she was a little bit more animated in the first game.
Yeah, I felt, but in this one, I feel like whatever weird vibe she had, they're really playing up. And like I love it when you come to her and she's just like, how will I ever get my nails done if you keep disturbing me? And it's like, oh, Tatiana.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because people aren't going to be familiar with this game, but I will tweet out a photo of her, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's looking good.
I like how she just, like, opens up a shooting gallery for you.
And I like
That's very Resident Evil 4 of her.
when you get the top score in the shooting gallery, she goes, you're the best around, detective. And then the detective, the alcoholic who has lost his wife and daughter and is living in a weird brain matrix world run by the mind of his daughter, just goes, yeah, nothing's ever gonna keep me down.
What do you think of Sebastian as a character?
I find him really endearing in a way I never did in the first game. I feel like in the first game they tried to make him kind of cool and sexy, and by just making him fucking just washed up nothing, I'm having a great time with him.
He really has a John Wick vibe. He looks like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dirty and sad. That's what I want.
Good game.
I feel like they could be doing a little more with some of the supporting characters. I like Kidman, and I just met the
muscle girl. Yeah, she got big arms.
what else we got on the docket there?
We were going to move into our next section.
Oh, cool. It's our Quicktime Events.
This is the bit where we go through news headlines quickly.
Well, that's the idea. We never do. It's always a discussion.
Well, we're nearly at 2 hours.
Excellent. Man, we sure have a lot to go. Brian, what we got first there?
The Kinect is no longer being manufactured by Microsoft.
Goodbye, Kinect.
What did you describe it as?
I think I tweeted it out and I said 8 years of people who don't play games trying to tell us how we want to play games.
Yeah, it really is. So the Xbox One and PS4, they came out November 2013.
Yeah.
So that's 4 years ago now?
Yeah.
Wow. 4 years ago, when they were pushing the launch of the Xbox One, they were really pushing the Kinect. Then when they did the revised bundle, it didn't come with the Kinect, and now year by year, it just phased out. It really kind of got associated with Don Matrick, the previous guy in charge of Microsoft games.
That provided one of my favorite clips on the entire internet. These should have stick with 360.
Yeah, because who's the new guy? Phil Spencer.
Yeah,
he's about games and the core first-person shooter driving game crowd, I guess. That isn't the party family games that the Kinect would kind of more cater to, I guess.
Yeah. I don't have too much to say in it. Like, I really look forward to the inevitable stop skeletons from fighting breakdown of this whole disaster.
Yeah.
But
It was cool for other things.
yeah.
Yeah, because you have an Xbox One and you have a Kinect,
Could you
don't
capture ghosts with it?
Probably.
Okay.
Did you ever use it for stuff?
Yeah, my brother did a lot of game development with it.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, and but when I say it was used for other stuff, it was used for I don't know if this is actually weird or good, but
It's
it was
used for
used
medical
to
stuff.
medical stuff. It was used for scanning in like museum objects as a really cheap way of doing that, of getting 3D renders of
That's
stuff.
crazy.
It was used as a cheap way to monitor people like in old folks' homes if they got up during the night and they fell or kind of something like that, because it would kind of take a scan of the room. Like, it had other uses as a piece of tech.
So it was a great piece of tech and a really poor implement to play games with.
Yeah, like my biggest issue with it was there's no space. Like, space is a huge consideration for it, and that isn't really brought into the conversation as to why it failed.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be able to set that up in a certain way for that to work.
I mean, and I'd really encourage people to go back and check out like the Project Natal launch trailers, where they just make these insane claims about what it could do, and as the setup that people... Do you remember the image of some guy in his living room doing a bicycle kick?
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, goodbye Kinect. We will not miss you.
Yeah, good riddance.
Call of Duty loot boxes.
So the new Call of Duty, World War II.
Yeah, it mainly focuses on D-Day, that kind of set piece.
You are on Normandy Beach. It's your hub world. And loot boxes drop from the sky.
I think there were loot boxes in World War One.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how they won. That's how the Allies won.
Yeah, the loot box would drop in front of the soldiers, and I think there was like a 1 in 20 chance they'd get like a jetpack, and
Or they got to go home alive.
yeah,
Or the Nazis were just like, oh, good loot. Probably won't win this one.
yeah, the Nazis rolled really bad on D-Day. That's kind of why we won. Well, I say we, but Ireland didn't do very much, did it?
No, I didn't.
Personally.
I would have if I could have.
In fairness, Brian, you were, it was going to be another 50 odd years till you were born, so your powers of persuasion were limited.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it's just kind of, it's crappy. Like, we saw recently that Activision had filed a patent for matchmaking kind of a loot system.
Oh, that was so gross.
Where if you would be kind of starting off player playing with a more experienced player who would have a pretty good gun. So say if the game kind of knew you liked sniping, they might pair you with someone really higher level with a good gun who can snipe. Incentivize you.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a weird version of that, where when you usually get loot crates in a game, it's a private thing. You buy them, you open them, it's added to your inventory, whatever.
Yeah, like it's all done through a menu that only you can see.
It opens up in front of other players. Other players can see this really nice animation happen, see exactly what you get. There is a once a week bonus mission to watch 3 people open their loot crates. So it's incentivized that you watch them do this.
Wait, there's a bonus mission to watch.
You get
That is
You get extra points.
so
yeah, you get
gross.
you get a loot box for watching 3 people
that is the
open loot
grossest
boxes.
thing I've heard in this whole fuck this game. That is so shitty.
So it's just a system to be like, hey, that person is getting loot boxes, maybe I should get loot boxes. Like, it's purely there to drive in-game purchases.
Do you think this game will even have a single player? Do you think it has a campaign?
It does have a campaign, yeah.
Does it?
And from what I've heard, everyone's like, man, that new Wolfenstein campaign is amazing, and it covers the exact same kind of shit. Well, not the exact kind of same, but very similar shit. So let's see how that goes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Call of Duty. It's 2017. Another one of those is out this November, I guess. That yeah. I'm sure Damo and the lads will get it for Christmas.
And they won't mind at all.
No.
They don't know any better.
So this was a bit of a bummer. The sexual harassment case coming out of Naughty Dog.
I don't know anything about this.
So this was a...
This is in the wave of the movie stuff in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same kind of wave. And there was a man at Naughty Dog, and one Saturday he came out with this text saying, he had been the subject of sexual harassment at Naughty Dog. The lead of his team had been inappropriate with him over the phone, I think is what it was.
I think it was in person, but he had told someone over the phone.
Okay. And there had been this wasn't a single incident. There had been various ongoing incidents, and it made him uncomfortable. And he told PR about it, and the HR about it, and the next day he was fired.
The victim was fired.
The victim was fired.
Okay.
And so that was on Saturday. The Sunday morning after that, Naughty Dog HR staff came out and said, we've looked into this. There was we've received no reports of any allegations. That was it. And so the guy also mentioned that HR had offered him 20 grand to sign a NDA about this, and he refused.
Yeah, because that meant it happened.
And it sucks. Fucking sucks. Really, it's difficult because there isn't that much information out there about this, but it certainly didn't seem like the lad had anything to gain from this either.
No, it sounded like after he left Naughty Dog, he suffered with a lot of depression.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it's just it really just the kind of blasé nature of Naughty Dog's.
I just don't know how you
statement.
conduct an in-depth investigation between the hours of 9 p.m. whatever between Saturday and Sunday. How does a thorough investigation happen then? How are other employees interviewed? How is anything done? And it seems like Naughty Dog just kind of swept this under the rug, and that's really, I think, in the light of recent events, that's really not how you want to see this stuff handled. You want to see people actually, taking this stuff seriously, and they didn't at all.
Yeah, because you think Naughty Dog with such forward-thinking concepts and philosophies, especially whenever they have interviews and development kind of documentaries about them, it seems like it's a very safe, progressive environment.
Yeah. I don't know, I've been doing some reading up on Naughty Dog, and
They're full of shit.
well, these two things aren't intertied, but Naughty Dog is also one of the studios most known for necessary crunch, huge amounts of necessary crunch.
So there might be kind of a toxic atmosphere certain times of a production.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Might not be a happy place.
I was reading about the making of Uncharted 4, and huge swaths of their development team left at the end of that project because they're just I'm fucking done with this.
So there could be a lot of bullying and frustration from management, and a lot of abuse of power to staff that just have to stay late.
We have no evidence that any of that stuff happened aside from this, but it certainly seems it certainly seems like the kind of environment that could breed that.
Yeah.
And
I could see how sexual harassment could fit in there.
Yeah. And it's just weird because it's the kind of thing you're reading about this, but when you're reading about crunch and you're reading about it from the person whose project it is, so of course they don't care because this is their whole life. And there was all these arguments anyone who's an artist wants to put out their best work, and
Yeah, you really, really want to die for a 2-second shot.
Well, he was okay, there's this bit in Uncharted 4 where you can shoot a bag of rice and the rice will actually tumble out realistically. That was someone's entire weekend. That was someone's thing. But now look at it and it's perfect. And it's I don't remember I don't think forcing someone to do overtime and incur all the stress and all the bad health ramifications come along with that. I don't think that's worth when a player shoots a bag of rice and goes, oh, cool.
If you asked me as a player, do you want this developer to go home, spend time with their family, or at least just get a good night's sleep, or do you want realistic rice falling from a bag? I'd take the developers, feeling better over it.
Just delay the game by a year. It's fine.
They won't ever do that.
No,
Yeah.
they always have this fucking deadline.
Or maybe shit rice pouring out of... Maybe it doesn't fucking matter at all. Maybe it's this just weird big dick thing developers like to tout out.
Yeah, can you make the chair red?
Yeah.
It's going to take 2 hours of overtime just to do this suggestion.
Yeah.
Just because you want your ego.
Yeah.
Make the chair red.
So yeah, I find it frustrating there isn't more information about this case. But I just wanted to bring it out because I think this whole Me Too thing, it has been unfortunate. It has been unfortunate in that the scope and amount of people coming out with stories is kind of horrifying, but it's been great that these stories are coming out because they're happening whether they're coming out or not. And it sucked as well because like I've seen some people that I really respected get caught up in it. I know Adam Blampied from What Culture, he was called out for kind of soliciting nudes on Twitter, and I've shouted him out on the podcast before, and that was very disappointing because I think he's a very talented person, and it kind of sucks to see him use his influence like that.
And even like actors like Kevin Spacey and Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, fucking Kevin Spacey, God
crazy.
Damn it.
Yeah.
And his horrible PR spin.
What the fuck was, like, as if coming out as officially gay has any bearing on
and it's
that.
like it's been a known
Such a
secret
stigma.
forever, but
Yeah,
it's
no, it
like
is.
it's
We
literally
all knew he
Brian,
was
you
gay.
told me that in college.
Yeah, no, Kevin Spacey's gay. Like,
Yeah.
He's never he never takes a female date to any red carpet premiere. Takes his mother. Mm-hmm. Like the dude's gay.
it's like it's a well-known secret, but he used the moment of like pure backlash. Like it was just like I bet he didn't have anything to do with writing that or anything. It was just like pure team on it. Like what can we do? What can we throw out there?
We've got our trump card.
Yeah, it's like the fucking get out of jail free card was the I'm gay card.
Yeah.
And it's just like to conflate like sexual assault with underage boys with being gay is like just so gross and so damaging to the gay community.
Absolutely,
and it's like,
yeah. Like that's
Yeah.
what an awful thing to put out there.
Yeah,
You
just
should
to
be like, you
think
should
they're all
be ashamed.
predators.
Yeah.
Like I think what you're saying, Niamh, about the PR team, I'm guessing that's right.
Completely.
But that's his fucking responsibility.
Oh yeah, but like I'd say he was just like quick get people behind it. But there's more stuff coming out. Seemingly shooting Game of like House of Cards was just like a nightmare for any male worker there. It was
Holy shit.
I was like reading a BBC article about it today that was just like if you were a young guy left alone with like anyone under 30 with him, it was more than likely going to happen to you, and people knew it. Multiple, like I think there was like 9 different guys from the set coming forward with stories about that. Which is just nuts. He's been dropped by his publicist and everything now. Like Kevin Spacey is 100% cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they announced the end of House of Cards as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was going to happen, but now...
Totally, yeah. I could see
They're
that
not
show
even
is
finishing
winding
that
down.
season now.
It's
Yeah.
on hiatus now, isn't it? But yeah, I think the people coming forward stories, they're really cool. That takes courage, and really disappointed to see that these stories exist, but I'm glad that they're being told. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and we've got Hanzo in Heroes of the Storm, everybody.
So as we were saying with the Moira
That
stuff,
was so
like,
loud.
saying with the
can
Moira
mix that
stuff
down.
earlier, BlizzCon literally just had their opening ceremony before we started recording. The big news is Hanzo's and Heroes of Storm. There was a Reinhardt short animation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this is where you got to see his family.
It's not Reinhardt's family. There's a
sorry.
Trobjorn's daughter is in it.
Yeah.
A Troblet.
When are we getting our Trobjorn short?
And people really
Just gonna
like
be him
her.
having a bath.
We got a new hero, Moira, the Irish hero. We have a new expansion for World of Warcraft.
You've got a new map.
I think the only Overwatch short I've watched is Tracer and Widowmaker.
I think
That's like the very first one, I think.
I watched the Hanzo short with the dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched the May short and I thought it was genuinely terrible. What a piece of shit.
I hate May so much.
I love May.
She fucking pisses me off.
She's great.
Oh, she's like a fucking character out of Arthur or some shit.
The best short has been the Sombra short so far.
Oh, I watched that one as well. That was alright.
And
And I agree it's the best one.
there's a new map, which I think is like literally the grossest idea ever. It's called Blizzard World, and so the in-game world lore literally means shit all to Blizzard. Like, just they don't give a fuck.
I feel like this is Blizzard elbowing us and being like, huh? Huh?
It's just a map
pretty meta.
that's just like an advert for all their other games. Like, there's a Hearthstone little section of it in the map where there's like a little table with a Hearthstone
like
thing
Niamh,
set
Niamh,
up.
it's so cool because like the characters in Overwatch play World of Warcraft. Isn't that fucking brilliant?
Yeah.
Isn't that so epic?
Do you get it?
Imagine a world where only Blizzard games existed. Like I love Overwatch.
Why do you think
Jesus
everyone's
Christ.
blowing the shit out of each other in Overwatch? They're just like, these games are so fucking shit.
Just a bunch of drug addicts.
I don't think that. I think Blizzard make very good games, but yeah.
It's just such like
They make very, very precise.
navel-gazy and weird to have like this weird Disney World, Blizzard World as a map in your game.
I just want a guest character. I want Diablo to be a playable character in Overwatch.
Oh god, they're running out ideas really fucking quick, so you never know.
I'll never understand like the fandom of Blizzard Entertainment, and like that's speaking as someone who like loves Nintendo. I just can't see the relationship.
Well, with
With
Overwatch,
a fan.
Overwatch it's really simple. There's nothing really to those characters, and so you can just impose
No,
whatever.
but just liking like Blizzard IP, like you know the way like if you like Nintendo,
and lads with PCs,
yeah,
like just
that is not a world I belong to at all. But you know how like something Nintendo, that if you're a Nintendo fan, then it means you like Mario, Fire Emblem,
yeah.
Metroid, and you know so on and so forth. You like all those things.
I used to be into the Warcraft strategy games.
Yeah.
They were genuinely fucking great.
But you know how there's people at BlizzCon now, and they just their entire
Sure,
world
yeah.
is Blizzard IP,
Which is nuts to me because like
and they would love that map.
yeah, like it's literally for those people. But like I don't know.
It's
None of
such an
those
outs-
games have great stories or anything. So it's like, what's keeping you there?
Oh,
It
man.
makes you
Have
feel good.
Have you guys watched the Joseph Anderson video on Diablo's story?
No.
It's so good. Yeah, that's a garbage story.
Okay. That should be a loot drop.
And like Joseph Anderson is like,
I'll watch that.
he's so straight-laced and humorless, but in a way that's kind of endearing. And he's just being like, this is a really bad story. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why does this character... It's very good.
A lot of like being an Overwatch fan is just going, why? Ugh, okay.
What if this character kissed this character? That's the fiction of Overwatch.
I think a lot of fans like have to patch over their canon for them, and then they're like, oh god, just make them kiss. Like, you know, it's like why we're here.
I'm kind of edgy, so I like to pair Mercy with
Reaper.
With Reaper. Yeah,
That's like
because it's like heaven and hell, you know.
That's
and sometimes
so-
I think like, what if like some angel girl came and fixed me?
so you're the
Because
Reaper. in
I'm
this?
kind of broken. I'm Reaper.
You actually do look like Reaper.
Yeah, I do. It's true.
John always wears a black t-shirt.
That's why I think Reaper and Mercy are a good couple.
I'll be the angle to your devil.
We get so salty when we talk about news. Do you ever notice that? We're always like laughing and having a great time, and then like reality comes along and we have to be like, this is fucking bullshit.
Oh, I don't like the news section.
No, me neither.
Okay,
I like the news section.
I like doing it, but we always get angry.
I'm always looking forward to the email section.
Oh, the email. Email's the best.
Okay, go on.
Anyway, let's cut through
Okay.
the rest of this shit.
We got Pirates Games Week.
Niamh, tell us about Ghosts of Tsushima. Tsushima.
Okay, Paris Games Week happened like
That's not a real
last
event.
week.
That's not real. There is no Paris Games Week.
You see, the thing is, it wasn't really real, but Sony decided to put a lot of their shit and announcements that they usually have at PSX at this event. One can only assume it's because the launch of the Xbox One is happening this week and they wanted to put a strong showing.
Shit all over it.
Yeah, they wanted to shit all over it. So we had new IP in the form of Ghosts of Tsushima, which looks like kind of an Onimusha like samurai game, which looks cool.
Who's making it? It's some developer.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It looked really cool. It looked really pretty. It was only a CG trailer, so.
I mean, I'm always down for samurais. Like, I like myself some angry men with furrowed brows and swords.
Splunky 2 got announced. I don't care about Splunky, but people seem hype.
Yep.
There was a new trailer for The Last of Us 2 that people felt very strongly about, and I kind of understand why.
Yeah. What did you think of this trailer?
I was watching this as this streamed, and I was on Twitter. And this is a game event, so you're kind of like, yay, games, we're all feeling hype and stuff. A woman comes on screen, and she gets hung and hoisted up, and while she's being hung, a knife is put to her stomach. That felt a little bit like, whoa, okay, tone shift.
Yeah.
I didn't know what game it was at the start for a while, and like I saw the girl with brown hair and I was like, is this a Tomb Raider? They really love like marketing these games with Lara getting punished.
See Laura get the shit kicked out of her like you never have before.
Literally, probably a
This time
line.
a bull attacks her.
Yeah, this trailer was just a bunch of women kicking the shit out of each other.
Then what happens is just awful. This woman comes into the picture, and this other one is like says "clip her wings," which I presume is a like about the Firefly group in The Last of Us. They get her down on the ground, and they literally in shot show a hammer smash her arm. And that was like it was a very grueling, gruesome trailer.
Yeah, it's like hobbling it. It's like watching Misery, that bit Misery.
Yeah, but at least with Misery, there's context to it. Like, this was just like, here's a clip from the game without context. You have never met these characters. You don't know who they are. It's just a bunch of women getting the shit kicked out of them in a really, really graphic way after seeing something like Spelunky 2, or you know what I mean? It was just like, it was really tonally
Definitely
weird.
did not feel like the right event to show that at.
Yeah.
But also, I guess, I don't know, like...
Naughty Dog are weird.
What did that trailer... What did it add to the story of the... Like, why should I be any more excited about The Last of Us after seeing that? Like, yeah,
It's going to be a dark game about hate.
Yeah, like, but like I
That's
get
it.
like,
That's
you know,
all they were going
Last
for.
of Us has always been about like human failing, you know, and you know we've talked plenty on this podcast about how none of us actually give a shit about The Last of Us that much. We've all beaten it. If you want to hear why we don't like it, you can listen to episode 36, The Blast of Us. But yeah, as someone who played through the first one and was like, oh, cool, yeah, that was pretty alright, I guess. I just watched this trailer and I was like, yeah, still a pretty grim world, eh? Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, I think it's awesome to have things to explore how fucked up humans can be, especially in situations like that. But I feel like there has to be a point to it. And if the point to this game is, man, humans are still fucked up like it was in the first game, why bother? Like, what's the story to be told here?
It felt like watching a shitty episode of Walking Dead or something.
But
where
like,
Boy, did it.
they're just doing shock.
like, I don't mind that violence in the game. Like, when I reach that scene in the game, I'm sure it's going to be horrifying and awful, but I will have the context for the story that will become before and after. But to be shown as a trailer to get someone hyped for a game is really, really weird to
And like,
me.
It would have been cool if they showed some gameplay or something.
The knife across the stomach as well. That was like, I felt like that put like some maybe semi-sexual undertones in there. And I feel like, given the situation at Naughty Dog, that seemed like an odd move too. Maybe that's just me reading too much into it, honestly, but I don't know.
What I read into that, like, people are assuming it's Ellie's mother and that maybe she was pregnant and that was the knife at the stomach thing.
From a lore wise, I'm sure that's what it is, but I guess just from a aesthetic wise, I felt like it created this kind of feel, and maybe that wasn't intentional, but I don't know.
It did give off a...
I don't think they would have done that
gross
to a
feel.
boy character.
yeah.
And so she's her voice actor, motion capture actor, is pretty famous as well. Like, she's Troy Baker famous. Can't remember her name. She also does Lucina in Fire Emblem.
Is that Laura Bailey or something like that?
Yeah, Laura
so,
Bailey.
yeah.
And she also does Rise, the idol in Persona 4.
Oh, okay.
It's
That kind of bummed me at the idea that it might be Ellie's mom, because, like, I hate prequels. Because you know where the game goes. I know
This
the
isn't
story.
going to be a prequel.
No,
I know, it's going to
not
have
a
a
prequel.
flashback thing, but
Probably.
I even hate flashbacks.
A diary.
It's like, you know, it's like, you can tell me this stuff. I'm just not really into, like, flashback prequel shit.
No, I get that too.
You know?
Do you know, the only thing I'd say is I was not until Yakuza 0. And man, just because, like, with Yakuza 0, it starts at A, and you think you know C because C is the first Yakuza, and it just goes all over the place in between those two, and it's so fun and surprising and inventive and gives that series so much context. Moving along, real quick, I checked out the God of War trailer as well. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
no.
Man, boy, if you want me to give a shit about that kid, have him shut the fuck up when you're fighting. Oh my god.
Yeah, like
Is he
had
quipping every time you do a finisher or something?
He's quipping every moment.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And the quips are like, now remember, this is like Norse mythology, you know, fucking fighting mythical creatures, and he's like, whoa, heads up!
Cool.
That's just perfect. That's exactly what I need.
That's what a little boy from California sounds like.
I was pretty intrigued by that first God of War trailer. I think I'm good now.
Yeah, same.
I like the gameplay. I didn't think it looked very interesting. But
That trailer turned me right off.
Yeah, completely. I wonder, did Sony just be like, listen, the Xbox One comes out, we need fucking something. Just give us anything, any piece of shit you have lying around. And Naughty Dog were like, oh, we have this kind of hammer cutscene, but it's not right for this show. And Sony were just like, give it to us.
Kind of seems like that.
But the game of the show was from the visionary. What's his name?
David Cage.
David Kage.
The Cage of Rage.
The Cage of Rage with Detroit. Is there a subtitle to this game?
I think it's Become Human, or something like that.
Yeah.
What's
wrong, Brian?
Just we're gonna talk about a stupid game.
It's just like, yeah, like fuck that dude. So like again, it was like a weird trailer with a scene of horrible violence completely out of context. So it was Kara, the AI program. It seems to be a world where you can buy your own artificial intelligence robot who is like your live-in house slave. So I think they're going to deal with like hopefully ideas of like kind of what it means to be human or whatever. But like this whole trailer is a little girl who is staying with her alcoholic father, who clearly beats the shit out of her and has destroyed the last model of Kara that they had in the house by breaking her apart. And you find that out because the little girl has drawn drawings of this because it's clearly fucked her up. And it was just really not nice to see. But it's kind of like, I think games should totally 100% deal with these subject matters.
Yeah.
I do not trust David Cage of all fucking people in this world to make a meaningful point about domestic abuse and child abuse with his game.
He won't do it with any sensitivity.
No.
I don't know, guys. Heavy Rain was pretty good.
He won't do it with any candor or grace. There won't be any.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be trash.
And like sometimes I feel like you do occasionally see games completely mishandle this kind of thing. Press X to salute kind of sometimes I feel like, are these the growing pains we need to do to get to the places where games can explore this stuff? But I certainly agree that David Cage has not proven himself as someone who could handle this.
And like, he has the resources, he just doesn't have the vision for it.
I just don't think he's a fucking person. Like, I don't think he knows how to write a compelling story.
Niamh, you have a loot drop coming up later, but could you tell us a little bit about that?
This loot drop is a Eurogamer interview with David Cage, and he is on the defensive from the first question. So the guy asks, like, the interviewer asks him, don't you think it was kind of like why did you choose the topic of domestic abuse? And David Cage is like, would you ask a film director that question? Would you ask a writer that question? And the guy's like, yes. And David Cage is like, would you? And he was just like, yes, I would. Why did you want to do this thing? And like, David Cage in this whole interview says the word meaning about 20 times, but never explains what the meaning is or what's behind it. He claims that he never does gratuitous violence or anything without context or meaning or without it saying
something. Oh my god,
something.
The first scene where you play as the girl in Heavy Rain, where it's like she's just getting attacked by a bunch of masked men over and over and over, and then it's a dream.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's literally a home invasion. She's in her underwear and it's like super rapey. Seemingly, I haven't played Beyond Two Souls, but people are telling me on Twitter the girl in Beyond Two Souls is nearly raped multiple times, and one of her rapists in the game, like the attempted rapist in the game, is the fucking father from the Detroit trailer. So they've just kind of reused assets, or at least reused a motion cap actor.
David Cage, everyone.
And like, it gets to
Cutting
the point
corners with style.
where the interviewer says, I played the demo and like, I just thought it was a bit weird that you would use motion controls where you would shake a controller to stop child abuse. And David Cage is just having none of it. He's like, well, maybe the act of making, like, shaking controller is uncomfortable and unnatural, and that's what I'm trying to get across. It's kind of like it's bad because it's meant to be kind of thing.
And you can see...
You want that struggle.
You can see, like, where he's coming from in the broadest possible terms, but just the nuance and the, like, weight isn't there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he spoke to anyone who suffered from child abuse.
No, like he's tackling a heavy subject and he's going, I got this.
Yeah.
And Dave, you don't got this.
You don't got this, Dave.
It's like someone's like, do you want to call in an expert? And he's like, no, I know. I wrote it already.
I really can't wait for the ironic Let's Plays from like some of my favorite YouTubers who are just going to
I'm sure the best friends are salivating.
They're going to have a good old scream over this game.
Yeah.
Just gonna laugh their fucking asses off of it, because that's what the game. It's not gonna be a real game.
Yeah, really, like I don't.
It's not gonna get like a genuine emotional response out of it.
Like I don't care about Detroit 2 Souls. I cannot wait for the best friends. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. But like I can't
David
wait.
Cage's sexual harassment adventure. I don't know.
David Cage's sexual harassment.
Did you know that he put a model of himself into Indigo Prophecy, where he's dancing with the main character of that, where it's a woman who's dressed in her underwear like the same character from Heavy Rain is wearing. It's like the white string top and the white underwear, and he's just dancing with her.
That is fucking
This guy is
bizarre.
fucking weird.
Like Kojima's insane, but David Cage is actually insane.
He's a serial killer.
Like, I think there's a bit as well where I can't remember which game it is, but there is a 3D model of David Cage, and he's like, "Hi, welcome to the world of Indigo Prophecy."
I'm gonna tweet out this photo as well. It's just a very, very creepy photo of David Cage.
With a quote that says,
"You don't know what feelings are until you've played my games."
Perfect. Oh, okay. That's enough. We're going to back off from David Cage now. I think we've let him have it enough. And let's move into my favourite section of the podcast. It's emails.
I've got some here ready to go.
Okay, why don't you hit us?
Alright, Niamh, this one is kind of, I guess, aimed mostly at you. This is from Lucas, and it's Bravely Default and Impactful IPs. My name is Lucas. I've been an avid listener of the podcast since June. Thanks so much, Lucas.
Thank you so much, Lucas. It's very kind.
Alright, I'm sending this email to say that I completely agree with Niamh in that Bravely Default is also one of my favourite games of all time. I love that game, even with its faults and issues. Bravely Default and Bravely Second are also two of the only few games that have made me cry while playing them. Both of their endings turned me into an emotional puddle for well over an hour. Aww. However, considering that Bravely Default began a resurgence in the JRPG genre and that it started the trend of quality of life improvements that are appearing more frequently in those kinds of games, it feels like Bravely Default isn't as talked about or analysed as much as it should be. My question for the podcast then is, what other pieces of media do you think made a tremendous impact on their medium but not really acknowledged as having done so? I could see what he means about that. Like there is a lot of streamlining stuff in the menus.
Yeah.
I think because it's a 3DS game, it just didn't get the attention. I think if that was on the PS3 or PS4 from that era,
I think so.
if it would have gotten a lot more response.
Personally, I don't think that people talk about the Dark Souls series enough in critical circles. Mm-hmm. Just that whole game series just seemed to fly under the radar.
but to be honest, I don't think it really had an effect on anything either.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They never compare difficult.
Did they make
moments
it? Did
in
they
the
make a third one of them?
It's called Blood Boy or something.
Blood Boy. It's the same. That's an interesting question.
There's definitely stuff in TV shows.
I think there was stuff. Gears of War had a huge influence on things, but Gears of War was directly borrowing from Resident Evil 7 and another game.
Evil
that I
7.
can't. Resident Evil 4. Sorry, that another game that like had cover shooting before Gears of War, and I'm trying to remember. Man, it's so ironic. I can't remember the name of this game, but it was. It had bad cover shooting, but cover shooting, and Gears of War kind of refined that. And then Gears of War is often the one that popularized it, and a lot of people think it's the one that invented it, but it's kind of not.
One thing that sticks out recently in my mind is I don't think Destiny gets enough praise for its inability to go from first person to third person seamlessly.
I didn't know that you could do that until like 3 years after release, when I watched a gameplay video and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
It's nuts because like there's games like Skyrim or Fallout where you can play it in first person or third person, that's fine.
It looks janky in third person, those Bethesda games.
But what Destiny does is you can't play it in either third or first, but what it does is you're shooting in first. If you go into your ult, your super, if you have a sword or like a projectile, it just brings you right into third person, and there's absolutely, you don't even notice it. Like there's no jarringness with it whatsoever. It's just completely natural, and you go back in.
You would notice the cut at all?
No, and like same when you use vehicles. If you use a heavy weapon that's a rocket launcher, you're in first person. If you use a heavy weapon that's a sword, you go into third person. And like it's so seamless that it like it works for multiplayer, it works for everything. It's just, there's an absolute comfort in it. And like I think Destiny also did a really good job with mitigating motion sickness in first person.
Niamh, you've made this point about the boxers about 5 times on this podcast.
I don't care, I love it. Just the box and
roll.
roll.
And the last time you made it,
chicken.
I was like, Niamh, you've made this.
Don't care, but I don't think they get enough. Like, I get like super bad like motion sickness with like a lot of first person games, and I've never had it, and it's totally because of that bob thing that they do, and I really think they should get more praise for it.
Okay, fair. I can think of stuff that I feel like ran into like an evolutionary dead end. I think pixel art at the start of the PlayStation 2 generation, or just the PlayStation generation, we were coming to a point where like really amazing pixel art was capable all the time on consoles, but it just stopped being made. And then stuff like, say, I worry that like, say the Evil Within 2, and it's like open world, like it's an open world survival horror game. And I feel like the last one of them that I really remembered that felt anything like this was the Case Zero in Dead Rising 2. And then no one ever really explored that again. Like the Dead Rising games kind of did, but it's not the same because it's like they got kind of shitty after 3. And I hope someone looks at Evil Within 2 and is like, man, this is actually onto something, and they carry that forward.
I think there's a lot to be said about small open worlds.
Intimate open worlds are fucking brilliant.
And have a lot of detail in them.
Yeah. And so I hope this isn't one of them. You have any answers to this one, Brian?
I'm trying to think of like TV shows and movies that kind of were ahead of their time that would have, I guess, paved the way for a lot of storytelling. Like, I just think like shows like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, they'd be both kind of big Sunday night shows. But I guess without earlier HBO shows from the early to mid 2000s, they wouldn't exist.
Yeah, true.
Just like thinking about like something like The Wire,
Oz.
Like Oz and The Wire. If those shows weren't made, Game of Thrones wouldn't exist, because they use the same idea of very, very multi-layered storytelling of people of different factions that aren't ever really going to overlap each other. But you're following all these multiple narratives, and they all kind of get the same amount of time on each character.
Do you know, for as much as we just did rag on David Cage, I do have to say there was a time like PlayStation 2, early PlayStation 3, that was the only studio putting out any kind of story-related content at all. And I think those games kind of came before Telltale and came before Life is Strange and all that kind of stuff. And I do think that was something that was going to happen eventually. Video games were always going to move into a bigger story territory, but David Cage's games were kind of like the first malformed step of that.
Yeah, they were AAA as well.
Yeah, totally.
Because the Telltale games wouldn't be AAA, they're like AA games, I guess.
With the TV thing as well, I think American Horror Story did a lot to bring serialized horror as a TV show into popularity.
Totally, and I think we are only just starting to see the effects of that.
Yeah.
Like with stuff like Channel Zero and The Mist and stuff like that.
Doing anthologies.
Well, just bringing
horror
horror
to TV.
Okay.
Like you'd have The Walking Dead as well, which is like really zombie based, but like a lot of horror before that was really like, it's weird, it's really vampire based, but like Buffy, Angel, Vampire Diaries, like Teen Werewolf, there was like kind of a teen rating to a lot of serialized horror TV, and it was more supernatural, even including Supernatural or Lost Girl and stuff like that. But like I think American Horror Story and The Walking Dead brought mature serialized horror to TV in a way that's really, really kicking off now, because you have the Exorcist TV show is meant to be really, really good.
Cool. Okay, I'll check that out.
I actually, one good thing that American Horror Story does, and it's kind of overlapped into other TV shows, is that because it's an anthology based on a season, is that they have 12 episodes to tell a story, but they're not worried about digging themselves into a hole or a cliffhanger that they have to resolve next season. So they'll do a self-contained story. But with that, you get things like True Detective, where that is 2 seasons, but they're separate stories.
Yeah.
And they tell a story. Sometimes it's not successful. Sometimes there's bits that are successful. Sometimes there aren't. But then it'll give opportunities for TV shows that might be only 8 episodes long, like the new one with James Franco.
The Deuce.
Yes. I haven't watched the last episode, but that definitely kind of felt like an experiment that may or may not have gotten a season 1 or a season 2, but it has. But they've told season 1 in a way that it could be a self-contained thing if it needs to be. Mm-hmm. And even like the first season of Broad City does that as well, where they weren't sure if they were going to get a season 2. So they wrote it in a way that the last episode of season 1 could feel like the last episode overall if they wanted to. So that way it could always belong to that production era, I guess. I find that interesting about certain TV shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Broad City in itself, like stoner, gross out girl comedy.
Yeah.
Like.
Did you watch Rough Night?
No.
It's pretty good. It's written by Broad City writers, and Ilana's in it, but it's marketed as a Scarlett Johansson
what?
All-female version of The Hangover.
Okay.
And it's got bits of it, and some bits of the film don't work, but then other bits are really funny, like Broad City funny. And it turned out to be a surprisingly decent movie, even though I thought it was going to be like, because I thought it was going to be like a really shitty version of, like, I don't like, well, Bridesmaids is okay, but I thought it was in the same vein as Bridesmaids. But there's another one called, there's another Bridesmaids movie that has Kirsten Dunst in it. Oh, what's the fucking film called? It's got Kirsten Dunst, and it has the Australian girl that's also in Bridesmaids. Bachelorette, that's what it's called.
Never heard of
Bachelorette
that.
is a terrible fucking film.
I can imagine.
Niamh, you have to see Bachelorette. It's just offensive to the female gender. It's
and I hate Kirsten
It's about
Dunst.
time someone took him down a peg.
Like they are like really, really taking women down a peg, and they're not helping. Like they're making it worse for everyone.
Great.
Okay, so we got another one lined up here.
Okay.
This one is: does a lack of heart and passion turn a show on its head? Okay.
It's from Peter.
It's from Peter. Good day, evening, night, whatever it is time you guys are in. Your man Peter back again with 2 questions. Enjoy.
Yeah.
You guys, especially John, you put it in comments or in brackets, so I'm assuming that's the tone, and have been talking a lot about the heart and passion that people put into a show, and how if a show is nothing but there for money it earns, then it's bad. Thinking about this, I felt a bit conflicted. Of course, watching a show, game, etc. with heart and passion is great and all, but does that classify every other piece of media with little or no passion bad? What if some of your favourite shows, games, etc. were cash grabs? Let's use Cowboy Bebop as an example. Let's say that it was revealed that all the people involved in making Cowboy Bebop did it for the money, and that the passion you thought we were seeing was ultimately just normal work from extremely talented people. If going by the same standards as it feels like you guys have said, wouldn't that classify Bebop as a bad and boring series with no heart because it's nothing but cynical but it's cash grab? What I'm trying to say or present is the idea that even if something can be cynical or for the cash, does that automatically make it bad? Yes, most examples of this are from yes, most examples of this is from shows and the like that are nothing but horrible, but this is the idea of a good piece of... But is this the idea of a good piece of media? Sorry, I'm messing up the sentence. But this is the idea of a good piece of media that isn't made for any purpose other than money or fame. And then he also asks a question about cereal, which we'll get to. So I thought that was an interesting question. And I think when we talk about like passion from a piece of media, we're not talking really about like people in studios. Like, we don't need to see video footage of people in studios being like, yeah, we're doing it. I think passion is something, it's kind of a more human thing that you can tell from a project. Like, say something like Cowboy Bebop. If you want to take that as the example, it's very unlikely Cowboy Bebop was a cash grab because it wasn't really going with any conventions of anime from the time. Like, that was a huge gamble of a series. Now, if every series from that time was a Western space anime about bounty hunters, then maybe Cowboy Bebop could be considered one. But like, say just for argument's sake that it was they just had the most insanely talented marketing people and they just knew that this was going to be a hit. Say that's the case, then still to me, like, if I feel passion from it, that's when I think it's passionate. Like, it's much less to do so with how the show was created and much more just a personal level with me, you know?
I think when you're making a show, because we've all worked on TV shows, but you don't know what the reaction of that show is going to be until about a year or two afterwards.
Yeah.
So you don't know if you're working on like a cult show or a mainstream middle of the line show. Like sometimes you've got an idea, but then like I'm working on this one show and I don't know how it's going to go down. Like, kids are going to love it, but to a lot of people, excluding like the directors, it's just a job. Like, just like to some people on the project, it would be much more personal to them.
Yeah.
Because they're in a very important role where they can make a lot of influencing decisions. And then there's people who are kind of like able to facilitate those decisions and help along. And then there's people who are just cogs in the machine. And that's how a lot of TV shows would feel. And I'm sure there's some people that are very, very passionate and proud to work on, and but the majority of people, it's just a 9 to 5.
Yeah, and like certainly like the show that all three of us worked on, we all very much considered it a 9 to 5, and it developed a weird obsessive fandom.
Yeah, a very, very small specific group of people.
And it was fascinating watching like some pretty not safe for work fan art come out about that thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things don't get made if they don't think they're going to make some money in some capacity, but that doesn't mean it has to be shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or without passion, you know, like, it's the kind of, like John was saying, if there was like loads of this one type of thing and you made it because you're kind of capitalizing on the hype for this thing, then yeah, that's a bit more cynical, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't be good either.
I think you can still find people that would be like, okay, cool, because I actually have this really interesting spin on space bounty hunters, you know?
I think you can like see that with games, it's like maybe what starts to seem soulless is I am playing like, I think it's the 8th Assassin's Creed game now, and like it's maybe the reliance on sequels instead of new IP, and that's like, I would consider that a little bit soulless because it's like the gamble of a new IP and a new interesting thing is not worth the risk than like Assassin's Creed Origins making the money it's going to make, and that kind of sucks. But like, I don't think something made to make money means it's passionate.
It's all made to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, everything's
you know what I mean?
made to make money. But then like, say something like Aero Manga Sensei, where the entire thing just seems so solely engineered. And like, you know, I got a really interesting bunch of tweets from a guy, and he was saying, oh, you know, there's all these really talented people who worked on Aero Manga Sensei, so how can you say it was without passion? And like, he has a point, but it's also like, no one working on this, like, talented people did good work, but this seems so measured. This seems so trying to hit this very particular vein that I got no soul. Like, that show had nothing to say. And you can have the trashiest cast grab in the world and it can still have something to say. Like, it still can. But I did not get that feeling from that show at all. And that's really where something becomes a problem to me.
I've got one final example. My girlfriend's watching Osamatsu-san season 2, and I walked in and we were watching one of the episodes, and I had like a gag opening where the 6 brothers were caveman, and she said, "Oh, they're doing another caveman skit," and I said, "What's this?" And she's like, "They're doing this like new thing where it's them as cavemen," and I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Yeah, so they can sell new keychains." That's all it is. It's just because they've got to sell like a season 2 version of the keychain, so they're going to do the cavemen, and that's what they came up in the writers' room as a creative solution to sell merchandise while also coming up with a gag. So it is the best of both worlds with the capitalism.
Yeah.
And he also asks, when preparing cereal, do you prefer milk first then cereal, or do you pour cereal first then milk? Well, we're not monsters, so I would assume cereal first, then milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what kind of...
How do you measure the milk to your cereal ratio by putting milk in
I feel
first?
like if someone put milk in first, they'd be like a serial killer. Like, I'd see them pouring the milk into the bowl, and they just stand there for like 30 seconds and just look at the milk in the bowl, and they're like, yes.
It probably means then when you pour in
this is what a human would do.
But wouldn't it? Then you pour in the cereal and it would just splash milk out of the bowl.
Yeah, and like you want to get the cornflakes a little, little
Drizzle them.
Yeah, you want to drizzle them.
Yeah. Sometimes when I do tea, I do the milk first and then the tea. But that's the only occasion I'm doing
I
that.
think that's kind of messed up even.
Well, see, the way...
I think that's a bit saucy now, Brian, I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's because I have a small teapot at my desk at work. And the teapot, you can get 2 mugs out of it. But in order to make it work right, I have to get a mug with an inch of milk. And then I don't need to keep remilking the tea. It's a very awkward situation.
That sounds difficult.
It's very difficult, but it involves me pouring the milk and then pouring tea in afterwards. Which is silly, but that's the world we live in.
I think we got another question that asks us what we eat for breakfast.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't eat breakfast. I have a yogurt, maybe.
Brian, you know what upsets me when you say that. How many times, Brian? How many times?
How many times have you missed breakfast?
Mm-hmm.
About 4 or 5 times in your whole life.
Yes, because it's such an important meal.
I don't really eat breakfast either.
Yeah.
What the fuck is... This is why you guys are always tired and mean.
I like to have a cigarette and a coffee.
I like hot chocolate.
I have a big lunch.
I have a bowl of porridge every morning.
It's insane.
It tastes like nothing and it sustains me perfectly.
I love porridge, but I'll eat it at 1 o'clock.
For me...
1 o'clock?
For me, I won't even have a big lunch. I'll have like a big dinner every second day.
What the fuck? That's
now.
fucked.
Actually, I have witnessed Brian eat like this, and it is insane. Like for someone who loves eating so much, you will go like hours without eating, and then you'll just eat so much.
Some days I'm just not interested in food, and then other days I am. I'm very hungry.
My eating schedule is so rigid and on the clock.
I fucking hate
like I eat at 8 o'clock, I eat at 11 o'clock, I eat at 1 o'clock, I eat at 4 o'clock, I eat at 6.
That's so weird. That's serial
Yeah,
killer.
you're like a fucking priest or some shit. You're like some robot priest.
I get really hungry. I just do.
No, like for me, I fucking hate eating food sometimes. I'm just so not in the mood for it. I'm so boring.
But to me, it's just you're just
kinda
refueling.
That, but like I kind of get grossed out by the concept of refueling. Like, oh god, my flesh body needs food. That's kind of gross.
I like it.
You
are absorbing other beings and obtaining their strength. Yeah, it is actually kind of serial killery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then, like, some days I'm like, I love food. I love fried chicken or something. But that's only like at the weekends. I'm feeling special.
I love food, just not a big breakfast person.
Breakfast, my favorite, most important meal of the day.
It's probably my least favorite. I usually have cereal at like 10 p.m.
Man.
Yeah,
as like
I do bedtime cereal.
Yeah.
Bedtime cereal
Well,
so
you
good.
can have cereal anytime. But like, I like to have.
I never have cereal in
sustain
the
you
morning.
through the
I
night.
like I'll make a smoothie and then I'll have a piece of fruit and then like some
loser.
porridge and maybe a toasted bagel. Like,
But like, do you not have like a sore bottom afterwards?
What the hell?
no, my body runs perfectly.
But like, are
This
you
sounds
not?
like a very well-oiled
Are
machine.
you not like you put loads of food in your body and you're like, oh, I have to make a
No,
poop.
like an hour and a half later, my body's like, John. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I go and I sit on the toilet, and then like a second later, and
my
it's
God.
done, and I get up and I resume my day.
Like a weird robot.
Good wake and bake in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay,
Smoke weed every day.
so we here at the Let's Fight a Boss cast, we are the world's strongest video game podcast, but we are also the world's strongest video game / life advice podcast. So we're going to be taking a very special life advice question from our boy. He hasn't left a name, so I'm not going to read anything out. But
Special boy.
hello once again. Hello once more, Wolfman John, Brian, and the sultry gay panic, aka Niamh. Hope you enjoy your Halloween in good old Ireland. We did.
I
Thank you.
don't get anything. I get,
You got Brian.
yeah, but that's. I don't get a gimmick.
We have actually been focus testing, Brian. You are the least memorable character.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, your keychains are not selling, but we are going to do another one of those caveman skits, which should get them back up.
Jesus.
Yep.
Fucking focus test this.
I've got a few questions for you guys. This is a bit personal, but I recently got my heart broken in a bout of complicated, unrequited love that could fill an entire trashy teen romance novel. But me and my friend Alec, not her real name, are cool now. The thing is, I have a crush on a beautiful. I have a, I guess, new crush on a beautiful young woman in my dual enrollment Spanish class. That was very specific, so I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast.
Aye.
And I'm wondering when I should confess to her, if I should confess to her, or if I should just simply wait until college proper and find a sweetheart, as I'm rather nervous and in an unsure state where I don't know if it's wise to head back into romance land. Yours truly, a black nerdy teen from the States. He actually did leave a tag, so it's Razorma12. So he's left a few other questions and we'll get to them, but I felt like, Razorma, you sound like an old school romantic kind of guy, which is cool. I guess my advice would be like, I think if you like someone, I would veer away from the idea of like confessing your love, because if you put yourself in the other person's shoes, a confession of love is a lot to handle, especially if it's from someone you only had a kind of casual relationship with up until that point. So I think what I would say is like, rather than confessing to this girl who like you really seem to like, I'd maybe try and get to know her a bit. Like, just, you know, strike up some conversations, see if there's some mutual ground there, and like if there's kind of a way the relationship can kind of naturally progress, and like see if she's the kind of person that you want to hang out with. Like, I think it's super easy to get enamored with people. I think it's really easy to be like, oh my god, this person's so cool, and like you develop this completely alien idea in your head of who they are, and sometimes I think that can mean to you putting expectations on them that aren't there, and you know that doesn't tend to lead to great relationships. It's kind of like, I feel like, you know, cosplay syndrome. Do you ever see a cosplayer cosplaying as a character you like, and you're like, that is the most beautiful person in the entire world? But like, if you go on their Instagram afterwards, you see them in normal clothes, you're like, oh shit, wait, that's a different person.
Yeah, I've just confused a bunch of fictional ideas in my head.
Yeah. And I have not been single for a very long time, but towards the end of my singleness, I definitely started to realize that like the people I was creating in my head and the actual people they were not matching up, and that was why I was kind of like getting into relationships where I was like leading people on or stuff like that.
Yeah. For me, I do think that if it's someone you're going to be in a relationship with, you'll know the feeling because you and the other person are mutually building towards it. It's a 50-50 thing. It's not a 100% on your end with a crush infatuation. It's the person on the opposite end is kind of fancying you too, and
it's a mutual thing.
It's something that grows naturally.
Yeah.
And it seems like this is something you want to force or you'd like to happen, and that isn't natural.
I think if you're interested in pursuing it, that's cool, you know? Like, I mean,
yeah,
that's awesome. But I totally agree with Brian. Like,
it's definitely a sense of pacing, and
it shouldn't feel like you're getting someone to go out with you. It should feel like, oh man, we really get each other in this weird way. Like, I remember when I started going out with my current girlfriend, there was never a point where it was like, we're gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend. Saying current girlfriend makes it sound like
it has a time limit.
It is unlikely that that's going to change anytime soon. But when we just became like really close friends, like really fast, and there was just a weird just connection there. And like before we knew it, we were girlfriend and boyfriend. We never had a discussion about it. We never needed to. It just we both just kind of knew. Now that's an exception because that's probably a little rarer than I'm making out, because obviously we've been together for so long now.
It must be so hard now with Tinder and stuff like that.
I'd say it's easier.
Well, that, but like the idea of someone pursuing something in a natural way, because usually you're kind of like prepping in advance.
I guess so, but then like you could do stuff like you could go on someone's profile and be like Assassin's Creed, and like just put a stop in it right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if someone told you in person that they like Assassin's Creed, maybe you'd talk to them a bit longer than if you read it and swiped no.
Yeah, but I'd also be looking for ways out of that conversation.
It would be a big con.
What do you think, Niamh?
Same as you guys. Like, if you like hanging out with this girl, just hang out with her, but don't maybe have an expectation of what this could be. There's so much time. You don't rush it.
Yeah, totally.
Like, don't worry about it too much. Let your heart heal after, like, getting over, like, Alec.
Yeah.
But, like, be friends with this girl. If it happens naturally, sweet, awesome.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, college is going to happen. You'll meet loads of people. Something might happen more naturally there.
And, like, I think if it's the kind of thing as well, if you develop a super close relationship with this person and you become great friends, that's awesome because you have a friend and that's cool. But if it gets to the point where like you just need to tell this person that you have strong feelings for them, like if it's really eating you up inside, I think that's okay. I think it's also important to be, remember this person is their own person. They might not feel that way around you, and that's not a negative on their part in any way, because they're just doing their thing. They're just being honest to themselves. But I would say a more casual approach with this stuff can yield a lot less heartbreak in the long run, and also be a lot more effective if you guys would genuinely be good together, because it's going to create a much more natural flow. I've had people confess to me in a very blunt, similar fashion, and it pretty much destroyed the relationship, because it was just like where could we go from there? And they were people that I wasn't interested in, and so once it was just like, okay, well, I don't feel the same, but you obviously feel very strongly about it. Can't imagine us talking normally for about 7 months,
Yeah, it was very difficult for us to continue the podcast.
But we started,
afterwards.
yeah, I know, but we got there.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Well,
and that poem was fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just John kept responding to words like murder and breakfast. It was really strange.
What a beautiful callback. But yeah, best of luck with that. I quite like those two questions. In RPGs with romance options, what types of characters do you go for?
Someone that suits the avatar.
That's the lamest fucking... Are you serious?
No, whoever I'm role-playing.
That's what I did.
I think we might all be serial killers.
Okay. I did the most recent one is Persona 5, but I went with Makoto because she looked right next to the protagonist.
I totally agree with Persona 5. It's kind of like, I felt like Makoto was who Akira would want to date.
Yeah, his name's Akira. Yeah, it's just, they look like a cute couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It depends on who I'm role-playing. Like, I mean, if I can date a woman always, like... No doubt.
I love exploring that option.
Yeah.
And seeing what that couple looks like.
Mm-hmm. But it really depends on the character I'm role playing.
Oh.
Like, you're just serving yourself. You're like goth girl with muscles.
It's a fucking video game. Like if I want to fucking write a story about two characters that aren't me, I'll just be like, one day Sam and Tim were walking in. But if I'm playing a game and the fucking goth girl who's like bench pressing shit comes up to me, I'm gonna be like, well, she's made for me. But is
she made for your character?
I am my character.
John always roleplays as himself.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Why would I do anything else?
John is the most fucking, like, I'm sure every listener has seen John's face reveal video. You've seen what a vanilla fucking ice cream cone is.
You know what? Fair.
You've seen what fucking, like, character select number 1 he is. Just, you play Skyrim or you play Fallout and this fucker shows up.
I guess, like maybe as, like, a general rule, I like girls who are... I don't like wieners.
Oh no, God.
No, I hate
wieners suck.
Gross.
Like, if I feel like I'm like have to like take care of someone all the time, I'm kind of like, ugh.
It actually, yeah, because you know the hacker girl in Persona 5, I love her design and all, but she's a wiener.
Yeah, like she felt like a little sister character.
Yeah.
So I got some romantic experience in Persona 5. And I think I might be done with that game also.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who did you romance in Persona?
It's kind of a personal question.
Yeah, I get that now.
Oh dear.
I mean, I thought Anne was pretty cool.
Was it Anne?
It was Anne.
She really, really wants to go out with you at the end of that game.
Yeah. I think her and Ryuji are a better couple personally.
Yeah, they're like an anime better version of Ron and Hermione in some ways,
Yeah.
where they kind of grew up together.
And the doctor.
John!
John.
See, I fucking knew this. I knew this would happen.
She's
I knew you'd be fucking judgy assholes.
She's a goth punk.
Yeah, what did you want me to do? Not fucking date the goth doctor?
Well, yeah, well, like Kira.
She's an adult.
Yeah.
You're a teenage boy.
I guess,
And
like...
Futaba.
And Futaba. Oh my god, Akira. What the fuck?
That was such a little sister character. It's
I
so
like
weird.
I like people who can take care of themselves, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I like Makoto, and she's also
Yeah.
got a bunch of weird quirks because she's like, there's that bit where she's spying on you, but she's reading like
That was so
a manga,
funny.
but
Yeah,
you
that
can
was
clearly see
great.
she's not reading and she's just looking at you. I like touches like that where you've got a potential love interest, but they have like one or two weird things that make you laugh, or yeah.
I definitely like people who I feel like have their shit more together than me.
Yes. I think you need that.
I like when they're on my level, so I feel like I have this cool like partnership going. I really like Josephine from like Dragon Age because like she was much smarter than me, and I was just like, I accept and love this about you.
Jesus Christ.
I accept that my character is probably going to be more of a dumbass, and so I like smarter people who have more shit together than me.
I like how you're saying
How
this
is
as if
that
it's
on
like
the
couples
same
therapy
level?
or something.
Well, like on the same level, like maybe like she's not great with a sword, but I'm pretty decent with a sword.
Okay,
we have
yeah.
complementary skills.
Together we can face the baddies.
The bad.
Yeah, the men. Isn't that right, Niamh?
Yeah.
I'll make this last one quick. Do you think games are mature enough to truly explore romance and sex with the same narrative weight and emotional depth as novels and films do? Absolutely, and I think we're a long way off from there.
Yes. Yeah, same.
It'd be great someday, maybe in 2040.
I think the Witcher series is probably the best it's been done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Witcher. There you go.
there you go. But thank you for that email. Do we have any more emails?
Do we want to?
I think like there's one person I just want to shout out.
Go for it.
It was the one, you guys know the one.
What one?
It was the one with all the clip art.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's just give our boy... Alright. It's your boy, Thousand Island, with a couple of hot cues. Now, he's got some questions. Maybe we'll save him for a different day, but... his name's Ian. I think we're going to have to revisit Ian, but let's just give a shout out to Ian right now.
Look, I just wanted to say, Ian, you get it.
Yeah, I might try and screen grab some of this shit.
Yeah,
I don't know where he found these
Thi-
gifts. These
this
are
was
relics
such-
from a past time.
Yeah, this is like they're all like gifts from GeoCities. There's dollar signs spinning. There's like demons walking across checkerboards. Like this must have taken like an hour to put together.
This is the email that asks us about our cereal. So we've already answered one of the questions.
awesome.
Okay, look, fuck it. Look, let's just do it. We are 3 hours into this podcast. Let's fucking end it on a fucking fat email.
Okay.
PH Fat. This is from our boy Ian. Okay? AOL sucks. My personal DJ cut this sick beat for reading emails too. Peep this on the 56K exclusive, you hear? What the fuck?
Wait, is this a song?
Jesus Christ. What the...
Brian, you're using ad blocker?
Oh yeah, fuck the ads.
You turned that off my videos, right?
Don't run in this domain. Let's hear what he's got. Oh, fuck that. I want to hear the song. All right.
Here we go.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work because...
I'll put it in post. It's fine.
Okay.
Wow, this song's... I can't believe it's this song.
It's nuts.
Ayo, check, 1, 2. Okay, gather round, y'all. Pour up with the pancakes, bake your biscuits. It's none other than your boy, Thousand Island. You can see me on your salad.
I can.
He's got some dollar signs and explosions.
Did you add that in, Brian? Was that an email?
That's both me and Thousand Islands.
Yeah, you're
I'm
It's a
syncing with
merging
him.
of
Yeah.
minds.
Yeah. Please, to my main men and my ladies, hit me up on that pager, girl. I hereby offer up my fatted calf of ram sacrifice to the angry rap gods, G Panic, BJ Downtown, and of course, Johnny No Ears himself. The haunted...
That's a deep cut. No. That is a deep cut.
I'm not done.
That's such a good callback.
This is so funny. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this without laughing. Johnny No Ears himself, the haunted Hikikomori dial-up modem.
The haunted Hikikomori. That is so perfect.
Hikikomori.
Like this guy, he knows the lore. Like he is not a casual.
John has to stay indoors and make his YouTube videos. He can't interact with the outside world, except for...
This podcast is my interaction with the outside world, and it's all I need.
John only has 2 friends.
It's true.
Yeah, he's got Niamh and he's got his girlfriend Michelle. I'm not his friend.
Oh.
Alright, so listen up. I had a spooky story to contribute for the Halloween episode, but my shit still be caching episode 59. Know what I'm saying? Shit be downloading hella fast for real. Only like 1 day, 20 hour, 43 minute, 9 seconds to go. My dual 9600 bods be hungry. Guess I'ma start inking up a fat Christmas tale for y'all now, and have it ready for roasting these chestnuts on an open fire. You heard? Here's my question. Best believe it's a 2-parter, like you boys dual sticks on 256 megs of RAM.
Like this person's a fucking artist.
Yeah.
God, what a wayward words.
Like I think he just said that he's going to send us a Christmas email. Nothing would make me happier. Thousand Islands, please.
Okay. What is the best breakfast that you like to prepare for yourself? John's already answered this with his porridge.
Whatever breakfast will give me the most energy for that day.
Yogurt and hot chocolate.
What the fuck?
Coffee.
That's not a breakfast.
And
And flip.
a split. And what is the best gaming snack with which to be not greasing your controllers?
Okay, well, if I'm really gonna commit to like a proper 3 or 4 hour gaming, and I might do this like once or twice a year, I'll just go all in and I'll buy a fucking box of donuts.
But that's gonna grease your controllers.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Actually, yeah, John is very greasy controllers.
I do not.
You do. I'm very, very concerned about my greasy controllers. Jelly.
Take it back.
I'll take it back. When you wipe those controllers down.
I have alcohol wipes.
You do?
Yeah. Do you have alcohol wipes, Brian?
No, I got baby wipes.
Oh, that's disgusting. That won't even kill the germs. Do you hear that, everyone? Brian's filthy.
I have baby wipes. I use them.
Baby wipes are babies. You a baby?
I told you about baby wipes.
What's wrong, Niamh?
Do you use baby wipes, Niamh?
I use Dettol cleaning wipes for my controllers.
No, but baby wipes are for everything.
No!
Everything.
I'm very clean.
Yeah, me too.
I told you about baby wipes, Brian.
I told you about baby wipes.
Why are baby wipes the secret to
Because
you?
it's the
like
best way to get clean.
Just, oh my god.
Use your toilet paper, use your baby wipes. You got a clean bottom for the rest of the
What
week.
the fuck? You're even using it in the wrong order.
What?
Jeez.
No, he's not.
He is.
You can't flush a baby wipe.
Yes, he can.
Too late.
No, you cannot.
Yeah,
Google
uh-oh.
that shit afterwards. You were clogging up every...
I mean, we all learn lessons here on the Bosscast. Let's continue our email.
I know this and I still flush them. I eat jelly beans while I play games because you can kind of like line them up on the couch armchair rest and you go and you're not getting any grease and it's a little sweet snack and you stagger them, or you have Haribo, just something that has like individualized like jelly sweets. Love that.
Oh, but then you get sugar on your controllers, and your controllers are very sugary.
Right,
Niamh,
I'm
what
a
do you
sweet
have?
guy.
I don't really eat while I play games. I drink a lot of tea.
Niamh also doesn't eat ice cream.
No, it's
Brian doesn't eat pizza.
too cold.
I will eat everything.
Brian doesn't eat pizza, doesn't get it, doesn't like it.
Doesn't get it. Like,
I think that amount of melted cheese and tomato and all that is silly.
guys, let's bring this one home.
Okay, website. Until then, you can hit me up on my web zone for all the latest and exclusive royalty included track downloads. The official Thousand Island online web experience can be found here. We'll have it in the loot drop
Absolutely.
exclusively on the new GeoCities. It has been thoroughly inspected by my man Norton and is officially recognized by the government of Samoa, the court of you can smell. The court of you can you smell? What the? Please tell us an island dressings. Then we have a small emoji gif of a laser beam followed by a molten magma Satan walking slowly across a checkerboard floor. Cool ass demon from the new game.
Thousand Islands. Truly, sir, you're a king.
Holy shit, his website's
wow.
amazing.
Oh my god.
God, they're all so beautiful.
Okay, we have to tweet.
Wow.
I just assumed he was joking when he said it was a GeoCities website. Guy, everyone has to check out this website. This is incredible.
We'll tweet out the link.
Yep.
Yeah, oh my god, thank you so much, Thousand Island.
Thousand Island, that, like, please take your time with that Christmas email. Make it real sweet.
Yeah. Oh, I want a nice hot one.
Okay, guys, we are way over time. Let's move into our loot drops. Okay, so I shall go first, and my first loot drop is a video called I found the worst book, and this is from
Jenny Nicholson.
Jenny Nicholson, who is like this comedy YouTuber. She's fucking hilarious. She has this really droll sense of humor and just a really strange way of looking at the world that comes through in all her videos. And she's really smart and really funny, and I really like her. But in this book, in this video in particular, she finds this book, and she pretty much gives a summary of it. And the best way I could describe it is, okay, so you know Twilight. So imagine Twilight. Pretty much the exact same kind of thing as Twilight, except Edward isn't a vampire, he's an internet troll, and the book is called Troll.
Oh my god.
Fuck yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think I need to I shouldn't need to say any more than that.
That sounds amazing.
Then my second one is from a channel called the Geek Critique, and he has done a retrospective on every Donkey Kong game from Donkey Kong Country. And it's really good. He really gives a shit about the Donkey Kong series. My favorite video is the one on Donkey Kong Country 2, but if you like Donkey Kong, they're all worth watching. Brian, what do you got?
I got two. I'm going to do the Mario Odyssey review that does a very good job at kind of capturing a certain generation's feelings on the game. And that's from
Pro Jared?
Pro Jared. He was at Anime Expo. We didn't see him.
Dang it.
And he's a big Nintendo fan, and like there is interviews with him and Reggie. Like he has a good relationship.
He's been around for years.
Yeah,
He's
he
a good
has.
guy.
He has a great relationship with Nintendo. So it's good to see like an honest review, even though he's been given an advanced copy.
Yeah.
And he's not, hyping it.
Niamh, what do you got?
Brian had two, didn't you?
I did, but you go.
Okay. My first one is the interview with David Cage from Eurogamer.
I am so excited to read that.
It's really short and it's just totally worth it. He's hilarious. And my second one is my favorite K-pop boy, TAEMIN, has a new album out. So
Brian, what was your second one?
Let her finish.
That's it. He's my K-pop song.
Niamh has a K-pop song. It's gonna get copyright strike.
Yeah, we
Here
can't.
I'm not going to put it at the end. No, it's just a loot drop.
Sure. All right. I think I loot dropped this channel before called Toko TV, but they just do these very, very well filmed documentaries about creatives in Japan.
Yeah, like little 12-minute documentaries.
They're lovely to watch.
Fucking beautiful.
And so they've just started a new season of it, and one of the and one guy so far is the guy who did the music for the Konami game Ape Escape. And that was really good. I can't wait to see who they've got lined up.
I can't believe how fucking long this episode is. We went way too far.
This is the longest episode we've done.
This episode was too long. We were too loose. We got too angry. We got too joyous. This was the episode of extremes.
I can't believe we did this.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. If you are still listening, fair fucking play.
Do you know what? Fair fucking play to you if you've done the whole 3 hours with us.
Yeah.
Like I can understand if you've broken this into like 2 or 3 days.
I'm going to be a little harsher. I think if you've broken this up, you're weak. And I only respect the strong. And it's the true strong ones who just listen to this all the way through.
Just like we had to do it.
Just like we had to do it.
You really were with us the whole time. You are our best friend.
Yeah.
Niamh?
Actually, this has been a great episode. I think we need to really go out on a bang. Niamh, take it home. What do you got?
And here's a rap song, and here's Niamh, and a treat, and a toot, and what?
Absolutely nothing. I've nothing. I never have anything. Stop asking me.